Tomechuku, he has done it for me. Tomechuku, Jehovah, Tomechuku, he has done it for me. Is that your testimony? Listen, even before I prayed, Jehovah Nisi answered me. Tomechuku, he has done it for me. He has taken away my fears and given me peace of mind. So that you could, he has done it. See the way he answered me. So that you could, so that you could, so that you could, he has done it. See the way he lifted me. So that you could, oh yeah, yeah. So that you could, he has done it. When I was worried and couldn't sleep, he was walking behind the scene. Oh, so he has done it. He has taken away the pain and given me joy and victory. See the way he lifted me up. Come and join me, worship Him. See the way He lifted me up. Come and join me, worship Him. So Jehovah, so you. Oluwana go do. Yemi alade nye. Sana popote. Now chineke na go do. Person where hustle supposed to job. He's supposed to cop. He's supposed to chill. Person where walk supposed to dance. He's supposed to rock. He's supposed to flex. But don't you forget, yo. Say no be by mighty, yo. Always be thankful. Oluwana go do. And I know be crazy, yo. Spend your money, but always be thankful. Makaifa di go mao. Even if you no get it, don't be crazy, yo. Spend your money, thank you. Oluwana go do. And if you to get it,
Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night. It depends on where you're joining us from. Welcome. Happy International Civility for the Girl Child Day. This day is focused on the girl child. So I'm just going to take a minute to celebrate with those who have taken a chance to be with us today. Welcome, Aaron. Welcome, Na. Welcome, Rachel. Welcome, Samuel. It's good to have you in the house. If I haven't mentioned your name or you're just watching from a different platform, step into the comment box and say hello so that I can give you a shout out because that's what you deserve. So, how are you doing today? I know it's a Monday, maybe it's Monday morning, afternoon, night. I'm not sure what country you are representing. Please get in the comment box and let us know what country is here with us today. I have my powerful, guests who are with me, and I'm so excited to be bringing them on the screen as we begin to have this conversation. Welcome, Sikiru. Welcome, Joy. Welcome, now again. If I haven't called your name, come in and let us know what country. This program is organized by Women Who Win Africa. It's so important for us to know which countries are represented in the house. And I am so humbled to share that in Women Who Win Africa, we do have a representative from every country in Africa. Isn't that cool? I think that's amazing. So thank you. Welcome, Iyanu. It's great to have you in the house. Some of you have never met me before. My name is Dr. Louisa Akaizo, and I am the founder of Women Who Win Africa, Women Who Win Global. And if you've never heard about Women Who Win Africa, where have you been? Excuse me. Okay, so I'm just going to excuse you for today. I mean, it happens. That is the first time that you're connected with me. But what you might want to do is get to find us on social media, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, we are on the right places. That's where you're going to find us. Instagram, we are there. And you can be able to enjoy really great content that's going to build, nurture, and equip you. If you're a woman, if you're a guy, I'm sure you have a sister, you have a mother, you have a neighbor. Invite all of them to be part of this conversation and invite your enemies too. A deliverance is about to happen. So you want to invite everyone to be here. Yes, Nigeria is in the room. Wonderful. Somalia is in the room. Thank you so much for making out the time to be here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It said, welcome, my Nigeria people. I know Nigeria does not ever carry last, so that's it. We're gonna have to show up wherever we are, and it's good. So Joy, thank you for being here. Thank you, and if you could be kind to let us know also, what do you do? How did you get here? Welcome, Daniela. It's great to have you. Iyanu, Eniakan, wonderful. Thank you so much for making out the time to be here. So I'm just gonna get our speakers who are here um, to get on the screen, and so that you can see our amazing speakers. I'm probably going to put them on mute for now. Let me know if they're ready. Okay, wonderful. Yes, we still have more speakers who are coming on, of course. Um, in a couple of minutes. I think Her Excellency will be with us here. So, welcome. Thank you so much. You're definitely in the right place. Oh, my goodness. And you know what? Some of our ambassadors made it to the house. Tamara, it's good to see you from Kenya. Welcome. Thank you for making out the time to be here. Thank you. So, yes, get into the comment box and let us know what country you're representing. You want to show off. Listen, I'm a Nigerian. We show up wherever we go. So, if you do not show up, Nigerians are going to take over. So, let me know what country you're joining us from and invite others to be part of what's happening. Ghana is here. Oh, my goodness. Is that Niger or Niger? I want to believe it's Niger. Niger, I know they carry last. It can't be Niger. But Niger, I love them too. But Niger is just, exceptional. Welcome. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. It's going to be a wonderful time and a day to celebrate the girl child. Who doesn't have a sister, or a mother, or a neighbor? It takes a village to bring up a child. So don't bring it up to me and say, Dr. Louise, I don't have a sister or a daughter. Cut it. You have a neighbor's daughter, you have a pastor's daughter, you have your boss's daughter. It is your responsibility to make sure that they're listening to and growing with the right resources and content. Welcome. Botswana is in the house. There you go. Thank you so much for making up the time to be here. It's going to be amazing. USA, Dr. Anana. Woohoo! Thank you so much. That's founder for Blessed Girls. It's good to have you in the house, my sister. Thank you for the support. I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you again. So let's go back to the deal of today. I'm just going to introduce my guests right here on the screen, just so you can get familiar. Okay, so we have Coach Ellen. Coach Ellen, you want to say hi?
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Good. And we have Coach Tony. Coach Tony, do you want to say hi?
Hi, everyone. Hi, welcome to be here. Welcome, everyone. Nice to be here.
Thank you. And we have a powerful voice from the LinkedIn. How many of you have an account with LinkedIn? Listen, if you do not have an account with LinkedIn, Halmer is about to bring you down. So over to you, Halmer. You want to say hi?
Hello, everybody. Super excited to be here. Hello to my Queen Dom, my LinkedIn community members that are joining us. I promise you an amazing time. Thank you for being here.
It's gonna be great. I'm so excited. And to my sister, Ambassador Uyime Ivy King, please say hello to everyone.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. I look forward to an engaging time and also a time of learning as well. Good evening, everyone from Nigeria.
Welcome, welcome. And we have Coach Etima, and she is the lead mentor for the Girls Hub. Sis, you want to say hello?
Hello, everyone. So good to see all the amazing late bigger girls. Let me call you bigger girls from all across Africa. So good to be here. And I see that some of the mothers of the girls at the Girls Hub are here. So shout out to you all and thank you for joining me. Really looking forward to this time with you, Dr. Louisa, and everyone.
I love it. Thank you so much. Okay, welcome, Coach Uche. Are you able to say hi, my sister? Okay, I know Tulisili is trying to join. I see
Can
something on the
speak.
screen. Okay, come on in. Are you ready to say hi?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but I haven't
Yes.
heard you
Good
yet.
evening, everyone. Yeah, good evening from Nigeria. The time now in Nigeria is evening. It's past 6 o'clock in Nigeria. So I'm excited to be here. I like the sort of people that are gathered in the room, and I am looking forward to a very inspiring conversation. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That's Coach Uche, and she is emotional intelligence expert who is joining us today. Tulisili is trying to come into the room from Eswatini, and I see that she's having some trouble, so she'll be here very soon. Welcome, Tamara. You want to say hi?
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm glad to be here and I can't wait for what you guys have prepared for us. Thank you.
Yes, Tamara is one of our ambassadors from Kenya. It's going to be a fantastic time. I don't know if you're as excited as I am, but I just want to scream. But it looks like if I scream, I'm going to be out of camera. So I'll hold it down a little bit and just be on my seat. But it's going to be an amazing time. Listen, are you still here alone? What are you doing? Invite others to be part of this conversation. It's going to be really great. So let me kind of give you an introduction on today. International Civility for the Girl Child. And this is an international day that is built on the concept of the golden rule, civility, image, and leadership. It is a day where every girl, when I say every girl, it doesn't matter what part of the world, should be encouraged to find her voice, embrace her flaws, and develop the capacity to lead others unapologetically with her girl power. And that's why we're here today. This day was created based on the SDG goals number 5 to achieve gender equality in order to empower women and girls. So whether you're a woman, whether you're a girl, I'm going to have to borrow from the words of the purity coach who said the bigger girls, you are welcome to the room. You're definitely in the right place. Dr. Julia is here from Canada. It's good to have you here in the house, sis. Thank you so much, the relationship coach. I'm telling you, listen, I got so much great people in my network. Like, seriously. I'm just kind of looking at the comment box. I'm like, am I going to have to bring them over? Because the relationship coach probably has something to say. So, yes, thank you for making up the time to be here. If you've never met me before and you're just joining us, I don't know where you've been, but my name is Dr. Louisa Akaizo, and I am the #1 image maker, period. That's it. You want to argue with your screen, your iPad, whatever, that's okay. But this is the #1 image maker. And that's what we do. We create magic and transformation everywhere that we show up. And that's the same thing with the people that I hang out with. This is some powerhouses. Listen, you want to check out their names and begin to find them on social media right now. You don't want to wait till later when it's too late. So begin to follow them and check out their content, be part of their community. These are amazing voices, and even more are joining us very soon for this conversation. So, the title for today, yes, it's something that I'm very excited about. Save her from fight, flight, and freeze zone. Welcome, Mona Adaba. It's great to have you. She said she's a licensed financial professional helping African families embrace the idea of financial planning. Thank you so much, Mona. It's great to have you. What country are you representing? It will be good to know what country. You see, I told you my people are here. Fatima is here. This is an attorney who is doing amazing work in the space of advocacy. It's good to have you here. Tulisile is right here, a woman leader from Eswatini. Thank you so much for making out the time to be here. So I'm just going to take some people off the stage just so that StreamYard doesn't get upset. But I think my StreamYard is pretty great to do a lot more. As the women are coming in, I'll let you see them and experience them because they are powerful. And so Mona says she's from the USA. Thank you so much, Mona. It's great to meet you today. Thank you. So save her from fight, flight, and freeze zone. Huh. That is a conversation we're going to be cracking today. When you think about fight, flight, and freeze zone, the word that comes to mind for me, of course, is trauma. Yes, it is fear. It is anxiety. It is survival mode. How many of us have been through the survival mode? I don't know about you, but that's something that everyone has dealt with. That time in your life where you feel like everything is falling apart. Where do I go? And so these are several types of responses that we find ourselves jumping into. They are not the favorite responses, but then you really don't know where to go. And is someone still asking, what is trauma? I don't know if you're living in this world because if you went through COVID-19, you should know what trauma is. That one alone was enough to drive you insane. Just being locked up inside your home, not knowing what's going to happen the next minute, and everyone dying around you. That was enough. So, how do we go through this successfully? And so, who are we talking about today? The girl child. And you might be wondering, why the girl child? Why are we not talking about the women? Well, sis, the girls are the leaders of today. So if you want to see a better Africa, world, Asia, America, wherever that you're joining us from, you have to pay attention to the girl child. You have to take out the time to either create content or be around people who are nurturing the girls. And in the world today, it's so sad that the girls are struggling. And I'm going to use myself as an example because this International Day was inspired by my own personal story or by the story of my mom, right? My mom was a woman who was married in a polygamous family where there's more than, polygamous is more than one wife, more than two, yours could be more than five, whatever is still polygamous, right? And literally we had to struggle. You had to struggle to be seen or heard. That was enough trauma. You woke up in the morning and you're served with disrespect as breakfast. Somebody just thought you were not good enough. Somebody thought something was wrong with your head. And you're constantly dealing with and struggling with people's expectations of who you should be versus who you really are. And that's the true story of every woman and every girl. The world has designed these standards for you, what your life should look like. And sometimes when you do not experience that, or you do not see that happening, you begin to see yourself as a failure. You begin to think that you have to continue to validate, or someone should validate your presence or your worthiness. And so you do not realize that you begin to negotiate who you truly are until the point when you lose your identity. Now, I want someone to get in the comment box and just put it down that the world is on a mission to strip you of your identity. The world is on a mission. I'm sorry. Consciously or unconsciously, the systems, they are designed that way to strip you of your identity. They begin to tell you how you should behave, how you should think, who you should be with, what you should look like. They create patterns for you and standards and models that do not work, that are unrealistic. And so you're constantly running a race every single day, whether you acknowledge it or not. You're constantly running and running and running, and woe betide that you're running towards the wrong thing, or you're engaging in the wrong space, or you're talking to the wrong people. And that kind of does what? Detours you from who God originally created you to be. This is why this conversation is so important. Welcome, Sister Adrian. It's great to have you here. Welcome, Natalie. Welcome, Honorable Belinda from Kenya. Thank you so much. Welcome, Chinatu. Welcome, Dr. Julia. It's good to have you in the house. So why are we here? The girls are struggling. The girls are in pain. We are continuously doing what? Recycling brokenness. Because when the girl child hasn't been fixed, she grows up to become an adult, but a broken adult that gives birth to another child who is broken. And so the world continues to recycle brokenness. So when you're complaining about the girls around you or the young women around you, sis, come in, let's have the conversation. Something went wrong at the foundation that wasn't fixed. That's why we have to be here. That's why we had to invite all of these experts and said, what can we do, my sisters? I'm going to share a little story with you. I went to visit my daughter recently in school. She's in the university. And I realized that in 2 months, she became a different person. She had grown so matured just in 2 months of not seeing her. And I had to go into my little corner. Sis, let me tell you, you don't need to fake for anybody. You know when it's not working. I had to go in my little corner and lay hands on my head and said, God, please teach me how to parent an 18-year-old, period. Sometimes you have to say that prayer. It's not a matter of feeling ashamed or feeling too proud, but a parent of a 1-year-old has got work to do. If not, you're not going to be the right parent for the 18-year-old. You have work to do. This is why I have the parenting coach here. So if you're sitting down and you have 6 children, and you say, you know what, Dr. Louisa, no, there's nothing I don't know about children. Well, you're telling yourself a big fat lie, because you have to jump into the classrooms. You have to be part of the great conversation to help you bring forth your child the right way. You have to. There's just no way. If not, they end up coming out as broken bottles that cannot even be put together. So we're going to begin this conversation today, of course, with our emotional intelligence expert. I know that she's on the way, and I really appreciate my sister. She's on her way traveling, but she had to be here, take out the time to be here. So I'm going to allow her to do her thing and kind of share with us what is the role of the emotional intelligence expert. Because I find that when we talk about trauma and anxiety and pain and fear, it all has to do with how you manage and control your emotions at that point. Because your emotions can drive you to the world and you decide to fight everybody. You become aggressive. You are so upset, and you begin to hate everybody. You serve, hatred for food. Nobody cares for you. Become a victim. And the other way, you might decide to take a flight. I don't want to deal with these people anymore. I don't want to talk to anybody. And I'm just going to be in my own world. But that's because you don't know how to control your emotions. So I'm going to bring Coach Uche on stage to share with us what can we do to help the girl child. Over to you, Coach Uche.
Wow, wow, wow. That was a wonderful introduction. I'm already getting feels. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I will start with this apology. I'm actually on transit, but because of Dr. Lisa, how she approached me, I said, okay, you know what? We're going to find a way to get this done. Isn't that what we are about? Being able to walk around uncomfortable situations and create the sort of result that we want. I feel that that is actually at the um, what can I say? It's a very cross of emotional intelligence. So apologies, I'm not able to show my face. I'm sure in subsequent episode I will be able to show my face. Great. If you can hear me clearly, please say yes. You can hear me clearly, and then I can start. So I'm sure I'm not speaking to myself only. Is it audible? Can you hear me? Please, if you can hear me, you can also go to the chat box to say yes. I hear you loud and clear, please. I just want to get the feedback that I'm not speaking to myself.
We can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, you hear me loud and clear. Okay, fantastic. Great. So the girl child and emotional intelligence. But I really would want to start this conversation first by saying, who is the lady? Who are you? Right? Let's even look into a typical lady, right? It's known and it's said. I'm not sure it's very completely true that ladies will have a lot of emotions. But what I would rather say is that she's someone that is gifted with the gift of intuition. Because I've seen that emotion is actually the path to our gift of intuition. That's why we are so different and very deep. I mean, in terms of our connection, right? Okay, we also said that, okay, she has a physical attractive body. She has a secret to comfort, right? And then she receives things that she multiplies. What am I giving all of this, like a bit of explanation and background to who the lady is? Because we need to understand why it looks like everyone knows what it means to be a woman, but the woman. Everybody seems to know what it means to be a proper girl child, but the girl child. Everybody, including a 10-year-old boy, if a 15-year-old boy, just knows what it means to be a good lady. So the question then becomes, it looks like there's a lot of pressure because of what we can do. There's a lot of pressure because of our capacity. Listen, if we don't have this capacity, trust me, all of the effort will not be made to just tell us who we are. The reason there's so much attention on the girl child, on the lady, is because we have enormous capacity to lead, to bring comfort, to have intuition, we get things done, to multiply people's seed. So you see, nature gave us so much capacity, and that's one of the reasons everybody just wants to decide and seems to know what it means to be a woman and a girl child. But that is where our problem came from. The question then becomes, what is the implication of this in the way that we see ourselves? What is the implication of this in the way that we see ourselves? Because we really can't deepen the conversation around emotional intelligence if we don't handle the identity issue. Truth is, why should I try if not that I've decided to be this sort of person? Why should I regulate my emotions in a way that I can create a business and prosper in that business? If not that I've decided, you know what, Uche is fully resourced and she has the capacity to build a big business. So what's your identity? What do you think you are, and who do you think you are, and what do you think you are capable of? Because emotional intelligence is all about performance. Why? As a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. We are emotional beings. We do things and then we justify it logically, but essentially we make decisions emotionally. So the first question is, who am I? Who are you? What identity are you carrying? Who do you want to be? It's until we decide on that destination point that we can now start to dot back to say, you know what? What am I currently and what is the gap? What behavioral modification tools do I want to bring in? Which emotional intelligence is one of it? So that I'll put it in, I'll plug it in the gap, and then I start to create the individual that would be in that destination I've set for myself. One of the things, again, defining identity for the girl child happens by others. One of the things that happens that you see a lot of the time that people decide for her who should be in life. People decide for her for how high she can climb. I was listening to a program the other day by one lady, Helen Ford. She was a bastard. Now she's a professor, a doctor in Nigeria, a professor in the US. And she said a lot of things about people trying to tell her what she can do only because she's a woman. Why am I saying this? All of those voices may currently be running in your heart, in your head. The voices of the you can't. The voices of you're a woman, you don't try. The voices of you're a woman, you can't get into that boardroom. The voice of you're a woman, oh, you can't run this business. Do you want to turn to a man? So in all of those voices, some of them are society and some of them are met by well-meaning parents. Yes. They were said by well-meaning parents, but you know what? You can only do the best with what you know. You can only do your best with what you know. We can't experience anything that is outside the boundaries of our thinking. So yes, it's possible that the parents or the uncle or relations that they meant well. But they meant well, but what we don't know is that they are already programmed by the society they are coming from. So again, from a place of brokenness, they're trying to determine for you who you can be, how far you can climb, what you need to be accepted within the society. Now the woman is walking every day with all of those voices. Some of them are contradictory, some of them are supportive, running in her head. And then I'll tell you where emotional intelligence comes in. Because those voices are already running in your head and is a state. Because we say that everything is state dependent. So let me give a typical example. You started a business. And then you already heard that, oh, because you're a woman, it's hard to do business. You would have people making sexual overtures to you, on you, and all of those things. And then you started a business and you're doing quite well. And all of a sudden, a client comes in and starts to make certain demand from you. You know that this is against your value. I'll tell you what your mind does. Your mind goes straight down to those conversations you had when you were starting that people say to you, the voices you haven't dealt with. And then it says to you, oh, remember what I told you, you're not going to ever make it. Those demands are going to continue and it's going to bug you down. Where does emotional intelligence come in? To understand that you're a co-creator, that you have the power to decide on what you are thinking about, that you have the power to choose your narrative. Girl, you have the power to decide on your identity. You have the power to choose your narrative amidst the voices that you hear every day. Some of them are already deep down in your subconscious mind. You don't even know. Events are going to throw it up and trigger you. It's going to come up to your conscious mind and you want to start to react or act in certain way. But remember my second point today, that you have the power to decide on what you want to think about. Just take a moment and start to think about anything. Just take a moment and start to think about anything, and then notice that you have the power to think about what you're thinking about. You have the power to think about what you're thinking about. And you know what? The moment you would start to notice that you have the power to think about what you're thinking about, you can then decide on what you're thinking about. Because the moment you decide on a narrative, the moment you decide on how you want to see a particular thing, the chemistry of your body changes, your action changes, and you determine your result. So within emotional intelligence scholars, we say, you decide on the emotion to deploy based on your destination point, not based on what happened. We don't have all of the time to start to bring out all of the tools for that. I'll try and give us one or two tools. You decide on your emotion to deploy, because humans fire emotions. Humans fire emotions. Humans fire emotions. Nothing means anything apart from the meaning you give to it. So what are we saying? You have the ability to decide on your narrative. Things are going to happen to you. Listen, the reason you are getting angry has nothing to do with what happened. You only getting angry because of a state, the programming that is already within you. So in emotional intelligence, for instance, I say, I don't hear Mandarin. If somebody comes to me and say, Uche, you are stupid in Chinese language, I'm not going to react. Because my five senses can't send in that data to my brain. It means nothing. But you see, I'm from the Igbo part of Nigeria. If you say to me you are stupid in Igbo, you know what? My emotion will be triggered. What are we saying? Everything outside of you, without raw data, you are the meaning-making machine, ladies. You are the meaning-making machines. And the meaning you make out of events actually what decides where you end in life. Your result is where the outcome you create. It has nothing to do with those events. So look back into the events that got you so happy, the events that got you so sad, the events that made you make certain decisions. Some of them you are regretting, some of them you are happy about, and notice that those events are independent variables. They are independent variables, raw data. It was because you made a certain meaning that made you react the way you reacted. It was Viktor Frankl that said that between stimulus and response is a gap. And in that gap lies your power to choose your responses. And in your responses lies your leadership and opportunity, leaders. The power is in your responses. But you see, you can't respond until you interpret the data. Essentially, we receive data through our five senses. So you're going to hear things. You're going to sense things. You're going to see things. People are going to touch, and you're going to feel things. But remember that at the time it's coming to you, it is raw data. It is now what is in your mind, who you are, that you would use to interpret that raw data. At the very moment you interpret that raw data and choose the narrative with which you look at that raw data, you have automatically decided your result. And that's what I say, that life events don't come to us colored. It comes to us transparent. We are the ones that color them with the colors of our soul. It comes to us transparent. Life events, yes. We are the ones that color them with the colors of our soul. For some person, it's half empty. For some person, it's half full. Listen, life is never ever going to be fair. Life is never ever going to be fair. But I'll tell you what. You're going to live here today remembering that you're a co-creator. You are a co-creator. What does that mean? You are born in the image and the likeness of God. You are fully resourced. Meaning that you can start from today to regulate your mind in a way that you are creating results that support your future, not results that enable your past, because the past is gone. It's the results that enable your future that you will start to support going forward. I've mentioned three things today. One is that you need to look into the concept of your identity once again. Who are you? The voices in your head. Number two, you have the power to choose exactly what narrative to choose, because to think, to believe, because the very moment you choose your narrative, you decide on what to think about, you automatically decided on your result. And then the third one is that you're a co-creator. That you're a co-creator, able to call upon things that are not as if they are. And how do you do that? Start to use that gap between stimulus and response. Going forward, if something hits you, remember to practice the 6-second rule. Don't say a word. Because at that moment, you will be taking data from your limbic system, which is emotional brain, to your neocortex, which is your thinking brain. That's just one tool. Another one I say a lot to people is start to practice meditation, start to practice consciousness. You can go to Google, anywhere, check it out. And but what I've realized that the more you practice consciousness and meditation, you will start to widen that gap. So that when events happen, you are taking your time to interpret it and decide on the narrative you want to work with. Because the every moment you decide on your narrative, you have decided on your results. As a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. Thank you very much. I hope you've been able to get a little value. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Coach Uche. I don't know about little, but I got a lot. That was amazing. It was so great. Just, I mean, look, listen. This is look at the comment box. It says, "Who are you? We have the power to choose our narrative, and I am a co-creator." Oh my goodness, that is just awesome. I mean, does someone have a question for Coach Uche before she runs off? She's about to take the flight. That was so powerful, Coach Uche. We loved it. It was amazing. Thank you for making out the time. I appreciate you, my sister. Thank you. Thank you. And this is what it is about being a servant leader. It's not going to be convenient, sis. And so many of us here is like, Dr. Louisa, I didn't sleep well last night, so eh, maybe next time. No, that we don't do that. We just show up and we go. And look at my sister is in the airport, but she is here delivering fire. I don't know how many of us felt the fire in the bones. Get in the comment box and say yes, 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 Coach Uche. We love you. Thank you. Get in the comment box and appreciate Coach Uche so that she can come back another time. Because if you don't appreciate her, she's not going to come back. She's not going to come back. Women who win Africa. You know how we do it. Go in the comment box and give us some love. That's what she needs as she gets on. It said so much fire from Dr. Julia. We love it. Everyone is enjoy. I mean, everyone had a great time. Coach Uche, thank you, thank you, thank you again, my sister. I appreciate you. Thank you for all that you do. Yes, so get in the comment box and just let us know how you're feeling at this point. Did you tell me your country? Because I'm seeing all the amazing names. One thing about Africa is that our names are so creative, and some of them I can't even pronounce. And that's why I want you to put in your country, okay? Just so that if I cannot pronounce it, I'm going to say my sister from Botswana. Yes. Mariatu Sese is right here from Sierra Leone. That's our ambassadors from Sierra Leone. They're right here. Rose Omango from Kenya. Is good to have you in the house. Thank you so much. Etongwe, let me know where you're joining us from. Yaknor, is good to have you in the house. Julia Mbewe, Laura, Lola Remy, it's good to have you. Natalie, thank you for making out the time. The conversation continues. Fight, flight, freeze zone. How can you save our little sisters? And how can you save yourself? Because we're all girls. I'm still a girl. I don't know about you, but I'm just a bigger girl. Because everything that you become today is based on what your younger years was about. If we got things messed up in the foundation, that's it for you, sis. But you still have a chance. And you're right here with the experts. We're right here with leaders who are telling you, you know what? We are happy to make this happen. And then me from his speaks just kind of sneaked into the room. Sis, I see you. Welcome. Thank you so much for making out the time to be here. So we'll continue the conversation. Yes, my sister, sometimes you have this feeling of I don't feel good enough, of unworthiness. Sometimes the adults around you, oh, it looks like I'm going to have to put this on a pause because Her Excellency is here. And I know she has a limited time and we'll be bringing her on the screen in 2 minutes. So, the adults around you at some point in your life, I remember if you're from Nigeria, you're trying to make a conversation and someone says to you, are you not ashamed of yourself? Excuse me, sis, why did you say that? But that's what we had to grow up with. Or maybe you're saying to me, you know what, Dr. Louisa, I was raped at the age of 12 or 13. Well, that does not define you, my sister. You have a chance today to rewrite your story. You have a chance today to remove that garment of shame, that garment of low self esteem, that garment of unworthiness, that garment of, oh my goodness, why are all the bad things always happening to me? I'm always the victim. Not, no one has been good to me before. And it is time for you to rewrite your story, rewrite your narrative. Know that you are a co creator and God is right there with you and saying to you, you know what, Sandra, rewrite your story, rewrite your narrative. Whatever that you went through does not define you. You can rewrite it. You can walk away from your past. You can use it as a stepping stone. You can go back to unlock those who are bound because you've enjoyed this great knowledge today. How many of us are ready to rewrite our story? Step in the comment box and say, Dr. Louisa, I'm ready to rewrite my story today. My story does not define me. And Judith says she's joining from Zambia. Welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Coming in, everyone, and just let me know what country you're joining us from. Rewrite your story and your narrative. Your auntie said you are not good enough. Rewrite your story. Maybe where you came from, your foundation, your life story was not your fault. You couldn't control it. Where you lived, your environment, your parents, the abuse that you were exposed to. But you know what? Today, you can begin to rewrite the story of your life. Rewrite it. Nobody's going to do it for you. Lebo, it's great to have you here from Botswana. Thank you so much for joining us. Rewrite your story. Rewrite your story and encourage your younger sisters. Encourage your older ones. Encourage your mom. Encourage your auntie, whoever, to rewrite their story. You cannot continue to carry the pain. The pain is too heavy, my sister. You've been carrying so much baggage on your back. Doesn't it hurt you? And so you begin to bleed on people that did not hurt you. And so the world continues to be a bitter experience every single day. But you can own up your responsibility today to say, you know what, I'm going to change my own narrative and support others who are ready to be unbound. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I'm seeing the different countries. They said my mom is joining through my phone from Nigeria. Amazing. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you again. I can't, LinkedIn is not letting me see who that is. Yes. Okay. I just got a message from Her Excellency. She's having trouble coming in. She was here, but I guess she didn't know she was connected. So we'll move this to the next speaker very, very quickly. And I'm going to bring in Ambassador Onyime King. Sis, are you ready to go?
Yes,
Yes, I'm telling you, this lady is sitting on a hot seat. If I tell you, I didn't even think that my sister could make it today, but I really appreciate you, sis, because I know what she was working on. I wasn't expecting to see her, but that's the power of relationships. She is here, and just because she loves the girl child, I don't know if you've been on her platform before, but it's Save Our Women and Girls Foundation. Where have you been? Look for her on social media and follow her work, follow what she does. Welcome, my sister. And at this time, sis, can you hear me, sis? I hope you're not
yes,
frozen.
I can.
Okay.
I can hear you.
So, as a powerful woman leader, of course, who works with the girls and women every single day, how can we support the girl child to go through this survival mode? What do we need to do? How can we help her out? She's struggling. She's struggling, and she really doesn't know where to go. She's jumping into the wrong things for the wrong reasons. We were doing a research in Kenya recently on period poverty, and we saw that the girls were sleeping with men for sanitary pads. Hello? And my question was, how many sex sessions does she need to have before the end of the year? Because I don't know about you, but my period shows up without even announce it, right? So if you have to have a session of sex to be able to buy sanitary pads, how many pads are you going to buy? Some girls use one, some use 2 packets, depending on your flow. But you know what? When you think about it, that girl is faced with so much pain. She doesn't have the money to buy it. She can't just keep dripping all around. And she's just like, hey, somebody's going to have to give way. I need to go sleep with the next guy. Is that the right thing? No. But if she knew better, she wouldn't be doing that. So over to you, sis. How can we support the girl child to go through trauma, to go through pain? Over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, my sister. Thank you, everyone on the call. I'm really excited to be here. And that question is very, very vital because the enormous capacity that the girl child has to be a change maker in society is huge. And there are so many possibilities that could happen in a world where the young girls are well nurtured, they are guided, they are encouraged, to use that capacity positively for social change. And you said something when you started talking that you don't need to have a girl. Like I have 3 daughters, and I'm interested in them growing up, finding their voice, ensuring that their voices are not silenced for any reason, and they express themselves. There are some people who do not necessarily have female children, but you have a lot of young girls around you. One of the things that I do personally is to ensure that any young girl who reaches out to me, I make myself really accessible on social media because I'm active on social media. And I have a lot of young girls who come into my DM, they want to talk, and I'm always available. I give them my number and they follow me all the way to WhatsApp, and we have conversations. So you see a lot of young girls around, their voices, their potentials, their capacity has been silenced, by some of the things that have happened to them in the course of life. It may have been having to go into an early marriage. Let's face it, it happens where young girls are given out in marriage quite early, maybe because there's poverty in the family, or maybe it's an abusive marriage situation, or maybe it's even a lack of formal education, which makes her feel inferior to her peers. Social media comparison, let's even look at that, because a lot of young girls are on social media looking at what is going on, thinking that every other person compared to them are more successful, they are more popular, they are more funny or intelligent or more attractive than they are. And this makes them feel as if they are worthless and they're just not good enough. Or maybe they try, to hide who they really are and present a false self to the world because they don't have that confidence. Because I'm very, very particular about young girls having the confidence to step out there and show up powerfully. Or maybe they could be avoiding social situations around and getting around other people because they feel bad about themselves. So the question is, why do I feel inferior? As a young person, why are you feeling inferior? Is one question that we really need to look at, because it's something that prevents a young girl from showing up as she should show up. And of course, we have a situation where, because of a temporary thing, making temporary, permanent decisions based on temporary situations that may be happening. And as a result, they feel, okay, this thing is happening to me. I don't feel that I measure up. And as a result, they climb up. When I looked at this topic that Dr. Louisa sent to me, immediately the first word that came to my mind was trauma. Trauma, because trauma can cause you to climb up. It can cause you to either decide that, okay, I'm going to go into freeze mode, or I'm going to take flight. I remember a particular incident as a young girl where I think I went to visit an auntie, and 2 of her dogs just put me, one was on my left, one was on my right. I was in the middle, and the dogs were barking, and I was so scared. I took flight. I didn't even think twice when I jumped on top of the nearest car to avoid that situation. So, looking at it in comparison to this topic, some young girls have experienced things that have made them either decide, okay, I'll run away and avoid that situation, or nobody's going to hear my voice. And once your voice is silenced, it is a traumatic situation, because one's voice is a powerful tool and it's an amazing instrument for communication of our feelings, our emotions, our ideas, or our wishes. And it's a very vital tool for significance because it helps to amplify whatever message you have to give to your world. And for me, a girl's voice is her logo. That's her product. That's her brand. Because nobody has your words or your voice tone if you are being authentic as a young girl. And then your voice has the power to bring about positive change in the world. So imagine a situation that something has happened to silence that voice. And the fight or flight or freeze responses are all fear responses. And when a young girl feels that she's facing a particular threat, this could happen. So I looked at this thing, and imagine that your brain is like your house, and in that house, your bedroom is like your safe haven where if you feel as if the world is against you, you can retreat into your bedroom and you just go and have your peace. So when you feel threatened or you feel angry or you feel sad, you're likely to retreat to that place for safety. So a lot of young girls who have been traumatized by one incident or the other spend most of their time locked up in protection mode. So whatever represents that bedroom of safety in their lives is where they opt to remain because it is what has kept them alive. So they retreat into survival mode, a term that Dr. Louisa has used constantly on this call. So in order to create a safe haven that frees a girl from fear and uncertainty, anyone who is in a position of being a mentor or a coach has to create an environment where they feel free to come out of their shells. One of the things that we did a whole lot at Save Our Women and Girls Foundation, which we continue to do, is when we have trainings, we don't only, when we are training, we do a lot of skills trainings and acquisitions. We don't just train the hands, we talk to their minds as well. So what we do, we bring in people to come and people who have succeeded, people who come and speak to their minds, and they keep speaking things that will enable them to find confidence in themselves. So we arrange and we plan this training in a way that it targets both their hands. Of course, they use their hands to learn the skills, and it also targets their minds as well. So what are some of these things that could make a young girl feel as if she doesn't measure up? Some of the things that could make a young girl decide, okay, I'm going into flight mode, or I'm going into a freeze mode, or I'm going to decide that I'll fight this thing, is comparison. It is very, very, very rampant these days because of the social media thing. Social media can lead to a lot of unhealthy comparisons for a lot of young people, because people come on social media and present a perfect situation. And then you start comparing that in looking at what the other person is enjoying. The person is model perfect, the person's life is perfect and everything. Your own life in comparison is nothing to write home about. And that is a trap that could lead to flight. That is a trap that could lead to freezing. And then the failure trap is also there as well. This failure trap has its roots in childhood. It could have been as a result of being constantly criticized by parents, and this could result in self-sabotaging yourself. So you see yourself and your achievement as maybe that you don't measure up to the standards of your peers, and you give up trying. And this becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And then you have the social isolation trap where you feel like you don't fit in, and maybe you grew up on the wrong side of the track. And then you also have the defectiveness trap. It's a situation where maybe you grew up with a parent who put themselves down a lot, and somehow you've internalized this, or you grew up with parents who were perfectionists and they pushed you, into to succeed at all costs, and they left you feeling like you were not good enough. So some of these things are rooted in how you grow up, or even the minimization trap, where you minimize your positive qualities and focus on the negatives, and you, as a result, you look at yourself that you're not good enough. Or black and white thinking, you look at yourself and you tell yourself things like, I'm a complete failure, or I'm not perfect. You gave yourself those total blanket statements that everything is either black or white, without realizing that life also has shades of gray in between. You may not be perfect, but there are some things that you do get right. But because of this trap that you've gotten yourself into, you begin to feel less than you are. So some of the ways that we can encourage young girls around us is that make yourself available. There's something that I wrote some years back even. I said something that if you make yourself unnecessarily inaccessible, you rob the people around you, you rob your society of the benefits of the investment of other people in your life. There's somebody that said one or two things to you that made you decide to take a decision that turned things around for the better in your life. There's somebody who was constantly there encouraging you, telling you this is the way to go and all of that. So you need to be in that position. If you have young girls around you, you have your daughters. I do it a lot. I'm very intentional. For instance, in the messages that I pass across to my daughters, I'm very intentional. I have like my oldest, there's a time she just moved to Canada, and when she moved to Canada, she was struggling a bit and she almost went into panic mode. I spent time talking to her, I spent time encouraging her, and now she's flying. Each time she calls me, she's so excited, and I keep reminding her, I said, imagine if you had continued on that line of thinking. So I try to do this also for the young girls that I have around me. So it is very important that we put ourselves, we thank God that Africa is known to be communal, even though gradually it's as if those values are being eroded. But there are people who are there who still hold on to these values of enforcing the idea that your child is not only your child. It takes a village, it takes a community to bring up a child. So look at the girl next to you and hold her hands and help her through. So some of the things that we could do to encourage a young girl to come out of that freeze mode is for you to be a safe place where they can talk. Something as simple as that. You cannot imagine how powerful that could be. That somebody, a young girl, can walk up to you and you're not trying to fence her off. You allow her the freedom to open up and talk and also get the benefit of your experience. So you talk with them, talk about whatever it is that they're going through. And of course, you guide them and direct them to hone their skills. Show her the power of her voice. So it is important as women who in different fields of experiences where there are young girls around that we could encourage to find their voice. And also teach her to listen to her inner voice and trust it, because sometimes they could be quite indecisive. Sometimes, because as women, I believe that there's something really powerful about women. There's the gift of intuition. You just know that instinctively. You may not have the facts, but you know that there's something there. So you must teach these young ones around us, these young girls, to listen to their inner voice and to trust their inner voice and to use it. So it's very important. You know, peer pressure can be a whole problem in itself. And as a result of peer pressure, young girls may not know the power and the potential of their own voices. So they need to be taught how to be the pressure in a positive way. I remember when my daughter left for school initially, when she started school, and I asked her a question. I said, in your school, do you talk about boys? Because I'm very open with my children. I speak to them about, I started talking to my daughter about sex education from when she was 6. She's 20 now, and her younger ones. And she said something to me, Mommy, that her mates are saying she's square. Why? She said because she doesn't join them to say some of the things that they are saying about guys and all of that. And I said something to her, which I love to repeat to every young person that I come in touch with, that it shows strength for you to be able to go in one direction. You take the right decision and go in one direction when majority are going in the opposite direction. It shows strength. So they need to be taught how to deal with peer pressure. They need to be taught how to deal with the loss of self-esteem, because it would really, really affect them. And also the fear of being misunderstood. They don't want to really come out. They don't want to be misunderstood. They don't want to be criticized or condemned. Or worse, they don't want to be rejected or ostracized. So one of the gifts that we can give the girls around us is that freedom for them to be able to talk to us, for them to be able to guide them to gain the confidence that they need to be able to express themselves. So the foundation for helping any young girl to be able to build that confidence that will make her feel empowered enough to use her voices and ideas is supposed to be led first by parents in a home. But where this doesn't happen, because, like I said, it takes a village to bring up the girl child, we can step in as older women, as mentors in the space to guide them and to encourage them, to support them, to be able to use their voice. So this ability for them to reclaim themselves is very critical in their development. So parents, caregivers, mentors, coaches need to make adolescent girls to understand that they have the talent, and your strength just may be different from the other person. Your talents are you. So we need to try to help them to focus on what they can do and to hone their skills to do it better. Help them to focus on what they can do. And then, of course, sometimes society and social media does not realistically portray the best you. We have these media portrayals that make the girl child begin to feel inferior, like I said at the beginning. So we need to guide them and let them know that it's not everything on social media that is true. So we need to let them understand that they do not have to listen to what society and the media tells them to be. I know that it's very difficult in a world where it looks as if everybody is having the best life on social media. But the things that make a girl the most interesting are different from what makes her friend interesting. So we should let them know that they should not be afraid to be themselves and take pride in whatever accomplishments they have. Do not look at what the other person is doing and then look at what you are doing and then begin to talk down on yourself. Give yourself a ribbon. Even if it's a ribbon for just participating, give that to yourself. Give yourself points for just showing up, because it takes a lot to even show up and be there. And then try something new. Take pride in yourself and push yourself. Push yourself. It helps you to find the strong you. So in summary, what I want to say as we talk about the girl child and celebrate her is that it's from her that all life sprouts. So let's support a girl child today to live her dreams. Let's support her and not demean her contributions, because sometimes too, the way we talk to somebody could make her feel less. So let her speak, because a girl whose voice is out there is an unstoppable force. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, my sister. That was so awesome. Please, guys, get in the comment box and celebrate Ambassador Unyime King. I don't know. I'm sure you're just wondering. There's so much knowledge in this woman. But of course, she is a power leader, and her community, you want to make sure that you are part of her community. Save Our Women and Girls Foundation and also Ubon King Foundation. Please follow them and just see all the amazing stuff, all the amazing contents from them. And of course, because she's here, I'm going to celebrate my brother, Dr. Ubon King, because he was behind me all the way in everything that I do. So I have to take a minute to celebrate him. Thank you so much, my sister. God bless you. Thank you for your time being here with us. Thank you, thank you for, of course, the sacrifice. And at this point, Her Excellency is here. So I'm going to have to bring her on because I know she doesn't have a lot of time. Are you there, Her Excellency? Oh, we lost her there. I don't know what happened, but I guess she's going to be back. I think she had probably more than one. We'll try again. Let's see. Okay, it's still echoing. Okay, it's still echoing. Yes, we'll try again.
Again.
Hello, Her Excellency. I think you might have, do you have more than one device? I don't know why it's echoing, and we're very happy to have you in our midst. And please, the team members, help her out. That's so frustrating that it is echoing. Do something and do something great for my sister. Okay, so we're just gonna move this to Auntie Etima, Coach Etima. Right now, let's try to bring her in before Her Excellency is ready for us. Yes, so she is the lead mentor of the Girls Hub. Ha! Let me tell you, if you're looking for where your girl can go, this is where they should be. What are they doing on social media? They have to be part of the Girls Hub. And I know something exciting is coming up with the Girls Hub, which of course she's going to be talking about it very soon. And I will also share the flyer on our page just so that you can hop over and be part of that. But it's so great to have you here, Coach Etima, as we continue this conversation. And when we had Ambassador Onyema King just speaking, it came to mind for me that trauma is really a psychological injury. It messes you up. And so some of you might be wondering, have I actually experienced trauma before? Yes, you have. It is that experience that you feel like I wasn't supposed to have this. I don't know what to do with this pain. What do I do at this point? Do I get angry with everyone? Do I just kind of freeze into my shell and shut down? Sometimes some experiences takes away your voice. You hear people say things like, you know what, I used to speak so well before, Dr. Louisa, but after I had this experience, I became so ashamed. I became so shy. And there's another elephant in the room, which is shame. Shame is something that we have to seriously. You have to kick out shame wherever that you find shame. Because I find that if we look at the world today, the girl child is always expected to be ashamed. I don't know why. Especially in Africa, the girl child wants to say something like, shh. That's where it begins from. Shh. You're not given a reason why you should keep quiet. And so you've been shut up for so many times that when it's time for you to actually speak out, you don't know the right thing to say. So we're constantly feeling that I should be ashamed. Oh, you know what? I was in a relationship, it didn't work out, so I should be ashamed. Oh, I tried something, it did not work out, so I should be ashamed. And so you constantly wear this garment of shame. Well, today I've brought a woman who is not just a woman leader, a girls advocate, but she's also a purity expert. I don't know if she's going to go that route today because trauma, when we look at trauma that is even caused by sexual abuse, because that's a lot that's happening everywhere, some of these girls don't know what to do right from there. So this is why we had to bring my sister, and for the next 10 minutes, she's going to be, or 15 minutes, she's going to be talking to us about what should we do with this girl? Is it normal that she's behaving this way? What other kind of response? What's a better way that she can go about it? Over to you, my sister, Coach Etima.
Thank you so much, Dr. Louisa, and everyone else. I hope you can hear me clearly. It's such a privilege to lend my voice. Now, I'm going to deviate a bit from how the conversation is going, but trust me, this is all going to add up at the end. I want to really appreciate Ambassador Ubon King, Mrs., because a lot of what she said resonated with me and the work I do. Now, I'm like I said, I'm going to just deviate a bit because a lot of times I'm in circles where we're just talking about a girl. Oh, the way she's treated is not good. Oh, what is happening to her is not good. Oh, what she's been through is not good. Oh, I am tired. And that is why I'm beginning to say, look, girls, Can we stand up and do something about our situation? There's a posture you take that makes it look like you are helpless and hopeless. In psychology, they call it learned helplessness. So we're trying to achieve the same thing, but how you position yourself matters. Now, what I want to say, first of all, would be to us as parents, mothers, mentors, advocates like what Dr. Louisa is doing. We need to come from the angle of girls stand up. Yes, you've been hurt. Yes, you've been traumatized. Yes, you've not been treated nicely. Yes, life has not been fair to you. We understand, we're empathic. However, the time for you to stand and move is now. Do you realize that no matter what a girl has been through, a girl is going through, and a girl has a tendency to go through, do you realize that it does not reduce her capacity? It does not reduce her abilities. It does not reduce her talent, her giftings. No, nothing changes. So why don't we focus on what it is that God has put in her and bring it all out? Because a lot of times there's a thin line between what she has been through and where she is going. I choose to focus on what it is submerged inside every girl. I've been working with girls for several years, and recently I intensified it with the work I do at the girls' home. I had a session with a group of girls, and I said to them, can you tell me why a girl was created? I mean, God had created the land, sea, light, darkness, trees, river, everything, created man to man it, and everything was fine. Why was it that God still had to create a woman? She was the last creation. And some of them were saying, some of them were saying for gender balance, some of them were saying for procreation, for companionship. And this amazing girl would stand up and give me the answer I was looking for. She said, because she didn't even know how to say it. She said, because, without a girl, the world will just be going anyhow. A girl is the one that comes and brings some kind of, I said, direction. I said, good, that's it. Do you know that whether a girl is raped, whether a girl is hurt, whether a girl is harmed, whether a girl is poor, whether a girl is rich, do you know she still has the capacity to direct? I call girls destiny directors. So it doesn't matter your circumstance. Now, our job as mentors and mothers and amazing bigger girls is to help a girl redirect her to the reason why she was created. Before session with girls, I come back depressed. I am crying, I am weeping, and I used to wonder what exactly is the problem. Then I realized it was because of how unaware, how redundant this capacity, God-given capacity is, that is untapped and unknown in a girl. We come and have conversations about girls. When we finish, we cry, we hug each other, and we go. That is not empowerment. That's not how to empower. Knowledge is power. It is the knowledge that you give to a girl that helps her stand up and move. It doesn't matter whether this girl cannot afford 3 square meals. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether this girl is the child of the rich, of the poor. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be unempathic. I'm just saying that it is time for us to clean our tears, dust ourselves, and move. And it starts with us. There is a way you will position yourself when you are talking to a girl. There is fire lit up in her bones, and she cannot wait to move. But when you come and say, it's not fair the way we are treated, it's not fair what is going on with you, she's never going to see herself as power. She's never going to see herself as a destiny director. She's always going to see herself as a victim. Do you know that I noticed that even girls who have not really gone through ACEs, like adverse childhood experience, I mean the bad ones, they are in degrees. Some of us didn't go to the really bad ones. Some were just a bit of trauma, not much. Do you know that even those ones have a problem? And you're asking, so what is your problem? You were not raped, You were not hurt. Your parents didn't die. Nothing terrible really happened to you. So why are you not soaring? So do you see that the problem is not really in their experiences? The problem is the knowledge gap, the awareness gap, the superpower gap. I was having a session with a girl. She's just 15 years old and she was caught having oral sex with a boy in her class in school. I'm talking about 15. And this is about the second one I'm having this year. You know, you hear these things, but when you're now meeting them, it's a different ball game. Now, this girl was having this oral sex experience in school. And I asked her, why did you do it? She said, because the boy said there's nothing there, you know, it's not that deep. And by the time I was done, I realized, just like so many other girls in the world, that a girl needs a sense of supremacy. The boys have it. So the boys come to you, they ask you for anything as a girl, and they know that you will give them. They are confident that you will give them. The girls, however, have this sense of surrender. Whatever you say, I surrender to it. Whatever my situation, I surrender to it. Oh, whatever my circumstance. They just always want to surrender. They just always want to come down, come low. Why? When God made man as per male and female, he gave them dominion. So we are not more powerful than the men, but we are also not less powerful. That's the point I'm making. We are as powerful as them. And until our girls begin to understand this, they will always be under. This is not even a conversation about submission. This is not it. Because if you check it, this is the reason, this sense of surrender is the reason why a woman will be treated violently, she will be treated terribly, and she will take it. She will take it. This is why a girl who is not yet 18, a girl, I mean, what am I saying 18? I'm talking about 13 years old, will give a blowjob to a boy that she just met. And her parents are wealthy. Her parents are wealthy, please. Her parents are wealthy. So it's not even a matter of, Dr. Louisa had shared how that, you know, in some parts of Kenya, some girls were trading their bodies for part. This group of girls come from wealthy homes. So they're not looking for money. They're not looking for attention. They're not looking for fame. However, there is still a problem with the mentality. And this is why I also have a problem with the way we do sex education, purity education. I have a problem with it. We come and we say things like, oh, a girl is supposed to keep herself, a girl is supposed to keep her body, a girl is supposed to not sleep around, and then that's where we end it. That conversation, we're coming from the wrong angle. Come from the angle of, girl, you call the shots. You can determine what happens to your sexuality. Why is it that everything is about body, sexy, and the girls they have grown to accept the fact that every time we're talking to girls, we're talking about sexuality and talking about sex education and talking about keeping their bodies. For the girls in the girls' hub, sex education is only one of the conversations we have. We have refused to grow. Why? There are so many other aspects of a girl's life that we are not paying attention to. And I realized from experience, it's almost 20 years I've been working with girls around the world, that when you focus on other things, when you focus on her value, when you focus on her confidence, automatically she's sexually intelligent. So the purity education that you're coming with every day, if you tell her how she has so much inside of her, she needs to discover her strength. I usually tell girls that there's so much submerged on your inside. Can you spend your teenage discovering it? Can you spend your teenage dating yourself and not dating guys? When we focus our conversation on what the girl has and who she's supposed to be and where she's going, nobody will tell her. She'll automatically get the sense that she's supposed to keep her body. But you know, when we come with this, oh, don't sleep with a boy, don't do this. She's already rolling her eyes as if to say, there you go, you did it, and now you don't want me to do it. And I say to them, but I didn't do it. I'm writing. Now, at the girls' hub, I'm looking at the girls in the girls' hub. About 4 of them have written books this year. Why? They saw me writing. Then one girl wrote, and the other 3 said, if she can write it, I can write it. Which is why I agree with Ambassador King that girls need mentors. Girls need an environment of positive influence. We're always talking about, oh, don't follow bad friends. Where are the good friends? Girls cannot thrive without a community. Forget it. You can be very close to your daughter. You can be very connected to her. She needs a circle, a community, a girl gang. She needs a girl gang where she is positively influenced, where she's positive, where she's pushed, where she's challenged to be more. I remember when we started having sessions at the girls' hub in January. You tell a girl, do video. She's looking down. She said, I don't know what to say. I don't know. By the time we're doing the reviews in November, these girls were struggling to speak. I was like, hello, come on now. You're not shy again? No, they are not shy. Some of them have gone through trauma, deep, bad ones. But their voice is coming alive because they're in a circle that is alive. They're in a circle of love. They're in a circle that is vibrant. They're in a circle that is progressive. They're in a circle that is moving. We don't come down and start saying, oh, see what happened to this girl. See, no, we don't share those kind of stories. So there is a lot of positive energy. Our girls need this positive energy, honestly speaking. In the girls' hub, we say to them that there's no word like I can't. We replaced I can't with I must. This is an empowering statement for a girl. Now, let me say this before I go ahead. There are certain conversations that we must have with a girl if we want to empower her. Because I understand the weakness of a girl. I'm a girl. I'm just a bigger girl. If you know what I mean. Now, these conversations about inadequacy and insecurities, we must have that conversation. If you want to empower a girl, get her to be able to handle her, I'm not good enough. Oh, I can't do it. Get her to handle that. Get her to handle her emotions. Thank God for the psychologist that spoke earlier. Get her to know how to handle her emotions, her mood swings, her feelings of anger, failure, her feelings of, I've done bad. How do I pick myself up? How am I going to be resilient, consistent? Get her to handle that. Get her to handle peer pressure because it will come. I saw a group of girls the other day and I was talking to them and I was like, why are you insisting on being this girl's friend? And she said, because they're the cool girls. Girls want to be in the cooler gang. They want to be on the cooler side of life. So how does she handle negative peer pressure? Get her to be able to do that. Now, get her to handle mean girls and bullies. Because some girls can be mean. Trust me. Some girls can be really mean. Get her to, if she has the strategy of what to do, you are empowering her. Finally, get her to understand boys. You see this boy conversation that we just, whenever we're talking to girls, we're making it sound like, oh, the boys are coming to deceive you. The boys are coming to hurt you. The boys are coming to rape you. The boys are coming to harm you. That's not right angle to take it from. She must know, you need to teach her. It's because we have not taught them enough. That is why when a guy says, sleep with me, give me a blowjob, a girl will do it. Because she doesn't know what a boy was meant to be doing in her life. She doesn't know how to handle boys. She doesn't know how to relate with them. Boys are supposed to be handled cordially, platonically, with boundaries. So you don't take her away from don't talk to boys, don't talk to boys. That's not the solution. You have to talk to boys. But when you're talking to boys, what are you bringing to the table? That's what I tell my girls. In the girls' hub, it's an offense not to be a prefect. It's an offense not to be a leader. It's an offense not to take responsibility. In fact, you must, wherever you find yourself, the focus is on what am I bringing to the table. When a girl understands this, even the trauma, even the negative experiences she's going through, something light up on her inside. Why? It was embedded. It was submerged. All you did was bring it up. She's going to be better ready not to fly, not to freeze, or not to turn away. She's going to be better prepared to forge ahead. That's all I've been saying. I've been saying instead of our girls fleeing and freezing and fearing and flying away, what do? Let them forge ahead. That's what I'm saying. Equip and empower our girls to forge ahead. If you notice, when you're doing a program for teenagers or young people, when you ask questions, all the boys, their hands go up. The girls are at the back. What if I'm wrong? I don't know the correct. They just have this sense of the boys know it all. We don't know. When their children is not like that, but as they start becoming teens and young adults, this feeling of inadequacy comes, which is why I'm saying that we must focus on empowering these girls. If not, we can carry placards, we can sign petitions, we can send bills, we can make all the noise, make our voices heard, do all that. At the end of it all, we'll be looking back at our girls and we'll be saying, so what's happening? We wouldn't still be seeing anything tangible because they would not still be able to produce anything. They don't know how to. It's not like they don't want to, they just don't know how to do it. Let's help our girls forge ahead. That's what I'm calling us to do today. Let them leave the free zone, the flight zone, the fight zone. They don't need to fight with boys. No, they don't need to fight with government. They don't need to fight with their enemies. What they need to do is to forge ahead. And to forge ahead, they need knowledge. They need knowledge to develop themselves. I'm going to end on that note. Why is it that girls are not interested in learning, in knowing, in growing? Why is it that girls are just focused on slaying and, peppering them, tensioning them? Why is it that conversation about fashion and style, why is it that that's where you see girls the most? When it comes to creative conversation, innovation, content creation, you can't see girls. It is an offense to come on social media as one of my mentees without a creative plan. You just want to consume. Seriously, you just want to take it in. You just want to look for followers. TikTok, I have 1 million followers. To what end? What value are you adding? What are you bringing to the table? Remember, you are a destiny director. You cannot come with nothing. You have to come with something, at least one thing. And so our girls must know that for them to forge ahead, they need knowledge. They need to read. Do you know what it has taken me to raise girls that lead? Some of them they just want to stop and go back. They are no longer interested. Why? Because you want them to read. Because you want them to research. Because you want them to know more, to come to classes, mentoring sessions. No, a girl can sit and watch a movie for 60 episodes. They are the only ones on this earth I know that can do that. They are watching a series 55, 66. They are still watching. Tell them to read a book that's 60 pages. There's a problem. So we need to change the focus. Now, even if we are dealing with girls in the suburbs, in the urban, in the rural areas, we can find a way, as God gives us the grace, to break it down such a way that even in their pidgin English, I don't know waiting do me better. I can't know say I can't know this thing, I can't do them. Let them just know that even in your illiteracy, you can still be a blessing in your community. A girl must just know that, look, I can add. I just need her to have an addition mentality. I need her to have like, I can help. I can do something. I shouldn't just sit and watch. I can change something. I can direct somebody, even if it's just one person. So this is what my contribution will be. And I hope that in all our different nations, we can, carry out this message with this tone and with this posture. with this posture of the advantage, not disadvantage. Let's come with the posture of an empowering one. Let's come with the posture of we know who we are. We are destiny directors. And like that 12-year-old girl said, without us, the world will just be everywhere. We come to bring direction, purpose, focus, growth, and advancement. Thank you so much, everyone. Dr. Louisa, I've enjoyed this conversation. Thank
Thank
you
thank you.
for all your comments. I really appreciate
Yes.
it.
Yes, you brought the heat. I love it. I love it. I love, the fact that we have to empower the girl with the knowledge. So you see, that's what I was talking about. I said we're here to change the narrative, right? When you look at research and what the world is talking about, I said, oh, I think the flight was the best way to go because she's able to stay away from harm. But Coach Etima says we're not even flying. She's going to sit grounded and get it done. She needs to know who she is. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Coach Etima. It was such an amazing time with you. Everyone, please jump into the comment box and celebrate Coach Etima. Celebrate Coach Etima. You want to be part of what she's doing. Look for her on Facebook. Look for her on LinkedIn, the Girl Hub. Make sure that you register your girl child. Do not allow your teenagers to get on social media just to slay. No more slaying, please. Excuse me. Go to the Girl Hub. That's where it's
That's
happening.
it.
Okay? Period. No more slaying. Thank you so much, sis. It was so good to serve with you. Thank you for your time. Thank
Thank
you.
you, man. Bless you,
Get
man.
in the comment box and just show her some love. Everyone says, Coach Etima, well done. Wonderful presentation. Amazing Queen Mother. See, someone gave her a title right now because she hit it up. She hit it up. Thank you. Thank you. We celebrate you. Thank you, Coach Etima. This was awesome, wonderful. Our posture is advantage. There you go. Coach Kemi is here from the UK. It's good to see you, my sister. Thank you so much for making out the time. Pauline Atta, it's good to have you here. If I haven't mentioned your name, because people are just jumping in, please let me know what country you're joining us from. And if you're not part of what we're doing, where have you been? Okay, I'm going to forgive you for now. But thank you, sister. It was good to have you. I have to bring on Her Excellency right now because she has been in the waiting room. And so, hi, sis. It's so good to see you here. Her Excellency, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, wonderful. Welcome, Asante. Welcome,
Karibu
Senator
sana.
Hez. All the way from Kenya. Is good to have you in our midst. I love it. This conversation couldn't have been complete just because of the great work that I see that you're doing. It's just amazing in Africa. Recently I was opportune to be in Kenya and I got to see the mentorship that Senator Zener. I mean, in every part of Kenya, Kenyans in the house, come in and just kind of shout Asante. Come in and just tell her you love her, you appreciate her. Your own leader is here. A sitting senator is right here with us discussing the girl child. It is a serious business. That's why we had to bring all of the experts to come in. Whether it's the parenting coach, she's here. Whether we needed a therapist, you heard with the emotional intelligence coach. We've just listened to Auntie Tima, which is the purity coach. We listened to a powerful woman leader, Ambassador Oyume King, and so much more is coming. And of course, right here with us now, we have Senator Hezena. Welcome, my sister. You look so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You look
Thank you,
amazing.
Doc.
It's late for you, and I really appreciate your making out time to be here. Everyone celebrates you. Everyone is so happy to have you here from different countries in Africa being represented today. Yes, somebody's writing the right thing. Karibu Sana. Thank you for sharing that. I don't know who this person is, but thank you. I should have said Karibu Sana. Welcome. Great. So
Yeah.
as we continue this conversation, of course, with the girl child. My sister, let me take a minute to even honor you for all the great work that you're doing. You know, every time that I get to listen to your work and videos, of course, every single day. Yesterday, I was listening to one with a powerful leader Malema from South Africa. And I'm just like, this is such a great role model for the young girls and even the women in Africa with the work that you're doing. You know, it is just so beautiful to see the heart that you have to serve, you know, in Africa. And looking at the conversation today, talking about fight, flight, and freeze zone, how does the girl child survive at a time of trauma, at a time of pain? You know, sometimes because of the experiences that we've been through, sometimes because of where we find ourselves, we refuse to go further. Okay, Flo is here from Kenya. Yes, somebody just jumped in the room. Kenyans are going to show up right now. I'm like, listen, yes, they're coming in. They're coming in. Well, Coach Etima's handle, please type on Girls Hub and you should be able to find her, Girls Hub. But we'll leave all the handles in the conversation. Thank you so much, Naza. All right. So, how were you able to stay focused, my sister, even to achieve all that you've done at this point? You, of course, you must have had some kind of challenges. You must have been around, you know, living in Africa can be traumatic too. People can just hit on you and hate on you, or anything can happen. Even going through COVID, it was a big deal. How were you able to stay through all of your years of growing up and still able to achieve all that you've done today and being a serving senator? So, what would you say to the girl child? Because this is, I mean, looking at who you are and where you've been, how can she put everything that's going on in her life behind and stay focused? Over to you, my sister.
Thank you so much, Doctor. It's a pleasure being here. I hope I'm audible. I'm very humbled and honored to be here today. I have been listening through the conversation, although one of my devices developed a problem, probably because I'm very analog. But it's been a wonderful discussion, very fruitful. I've had a lot of wisdom from the previous presenters, and I feel like this is what we need as African young women, because we actually need to change the trend, because the trend that has been there when I was joining politics, first of all, I'm the youth senator in Kenya, so you can imagine they call the Senate the house of the old, but I managed to get in there. And one of the things I would attribute that to is being a go-getter. The presenter that just left the floor before me, I believe the name is it King? Ambassador Well, is that one thing she said, you have to be very fearless. You have to pursue what you want with a very ruthless focus to what you want to achieve, and do not be distracted by anything that will stand in the way of you and your success. A lot of times when you find challenges in life, you want to choose and decide, is this setback worth beating yourself over? Is it worth stopping for? Or should you just pursue and pursue and pursue your goals and dreams? First and foremost, there's something that we've had for a long time in Africa, among African women, something called gatekeeping. And I remember when one of the things that actually propelled me to go into politics was the fact that a lot of women who are already in politics were gatekeeping. That means because they are in politics, they are sitting on the door, because a gatekeeper is somebody who sits on the door or on the window of opportunities and blocks it from anybody else who's coming after them. And I encountered that a lot in my life, even on way before I was interested in politics. I was never interested in politics. So when I got the microphone for the first time, the people, and I was addressing such a youth gathering. Thank God, because I was given a platform by my party leader. I'm sure most of you have know him, who is a former Prime Minister for Kenya. His name is Right Honorable Raila Odinga, and he gave me the platform because he could see there is this young girl, of course, with my beads, my cultural beads. I was always in the rallies. I was always wrestling and fighting for spaces and positions among very old men, unfamiliar territories, murky waters, and once I was given the platform, I hit hard on the gatekeepers. The name actually came to become a household name in Kenya, and everyone now was talking. It actually trended for almost a month. Like, we are tired of gatekeepers. We do not want gatekeepers, because I brought that out, and I knew one of the things that set me into politics was to blaze a trail and to bust open those doors for other women who are coming after me, because the women who've been there before me, especially in my community in politics, have done nothing but gatekeep for other young women who are elites from my country. And yet I come from one of the smallest tribes in Kenya, which is called the Samburu. It's up north in the Kenya. We are more like the Fulanis in Nigeria, and it's unheard of for girls from my community to go into politics, because we're supposed to be reserved, we're supposed to be timid, we're supposed to be extremely conservative, and our culture is very patriarchal in that women cannot own properties and all that. But we thank God for trailblazers who've been there, especially the men, because some of the men who have been educated, like my late father, for example, um, gave everybody an equal chance, the boys and girls. He empowered me and my brothers and my sisters equally. So, and he made us believe that indeed the world is our arena, and it's our oyster, and that we have nothing but to play and perform on it. So I grew up as a very shy girl. I am an introvert personally. I would do anything to stay away from human beings. Satirically, yes. I would hide myself. I would prefer to stay quiet in a locked room. But then I had a call within myself, which was irritatingly bigger than me. And that was to blaze a trail, because I knew I had a gift. I had a gift to talk to young people, and I had a gift to talk to young people, and open these doors that have been blocked for a very, very long time, and also to show the world that indeed girls from minority and marginalized communities, we call it indigenous out there in the world, have an equal opportunity just as much as other girls from other communities. And so I felt like if I didn't speak, because I'm a very good public speaker, I am very good with language, and I can say over the years I've worked on my confidence real well. I am very fearless despite being an introvert. Like, if I decide to do something, I know I'm gonna do it. I am gonna get it, no matter who stands in between me and the goal. I will achieve what I want to achieve. No matter how many times I fail, I will wake up and dust myself. And I thought, this is something that we need other girls to understand. This is something that we want to create a tribe of young women who are like that. And hi, Florence. I am seeing one one young lady who's joined from my community. She's actually from my village. And sorry for that. And indeed, I felt like, since I have had girls from my community who are way older than me, and have been doing spectacularly well in their respective fields of work, in different corporates, in corporations, in government offices and ministries, and who are not in politics. But there are those who are in politics, and they ended up blocking these women, so that there are even some of these gatekeepers will write letters to ensure that no any other Samburu girl would rise into the limelight or to be famous, And I was very heartbroken by that. So when I held the microphone, I just told that our former prime minister, my party leader, that indeed Samburu women are educated, Samburu women are empowered, but we have gatekeepers, and that is our main problem in this country. And it blew up. I'm telling you, the kind of confessions I got from these girls who have already been doing spectacularly well in the corporate sector, older than me, they were like, "You've just said what we wanted somebody to say for so long." And so far, I have gotten a lot of support from them, and they have been very supportive of me. And I just thought, if it will take me to disregard what I would rather do, like mind my own business and be quiet in my own space, if it will take me to cut out of that cocoon, break from that shell, and go into politics, then I will go for the purpose of other girls. And this is what actually led me to start the mentoring of mentors program. This is where I know I am a mentor today. I am mentoring a lot of girls because I didn't have a mentor. Nobody mentored me into politics. Actually, I struggled so much until I got into the political spaces during the campaigns. This is my first time in politics, my first time participating in actual politics. And then I got this man who was my party leader to hold my hand, because like the speaker who just left the floor before me said, you have to be bold and fearless. Without being bold, without being fearless, you are going nowhere. And I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. You have to pursue what you have to pursue with a lot of courage and boldness, because you will encounter a lot of obstacles. Not in the world we live in today, not so many people want to see you win. But and everyone is made so special and unique. I can never be you, you can never be me. Everywhere across the world, you will never find somebody like you. You are made very uniquely in the image and likeness of God. That's why God is a supernatural, supernormal being, because you can't understand the character of God if everyone is different from the other. We are like the fingerprint. Each person has their own fingerprint, and it's not identical to none other. So when you pursue what you want to do not be ashamed of your struggle. Do not be ashamed to start small. Do not be ashamed of the obstacles. Do not be ashamed of your inadequacies, because it is through learning your inadequacies and your through your learning and mastering your inadequacies, you become perfect. You perfect who you are. And in that, you grow. That is purely what growth is about. Being fearless, being bold, and another word lately is be shameless, especially if you know what you want to achieve. Be shameless, because the speaker who was before the speaker that left the floor said something. You will always be told, I think also Dr. Luisa said it, you'll always be told you can't do this, you're an African, be reserved, be quiet, don't say ABCD. But just take it as if it's a call. You either do it and change humanity, or nobody will ever do, and that change will never come. I like Mother Teresa because she said that whatever you do small things with great love, and then afterwards you will see the result. You cast a stone in the ocean and create so many ripples of change. If you're interested in pursuing politics, you have to be shameless, because they will label you, they will call you names, they will destroy your character, your reputation. So it is an arena that is made for the bold. It's an arena that is made for the tough skins. And I will be sorry to disappoint you. A lot of opposition you're likely to face as a young woman, as an aggressive woman, ruthlessly focused on what you want, being very different, being a system challenger, a culture shaper. You will encounter a lot of rebellion from especially the female gender. So what do? I like to want to believe that someday in the future, Like the COO of Facebook once said, her name is Sheryl Sandberg, that one day there will be just leaders, not female leaders, not male leaders, just leaders. So anytime I see a woman fighting me and I really don't know her, women are just very funny human beings. They will, you see, they are a different generation. So, and one of the reasons why I really like Dr. Louisa, I really love this girl because she brings a breath of fresh air. She brings a lot of hope to the empowerment of the girl child, empowerment of the woman. Because at some point, I don't know why the rain started beating us, but there was a time in life when women empowerment was the thing. Women empowerment was everything. Everyone is talking about women empowerment, but are we seeing the results of this women empowerment? I come from a community which practices FGM, female genital mutilation, for both girls and all genders, and it is mandatory. We have to go through FGM, and we have a lot of problems with early child marriages because it's our culture. That's how we grew up. We have 1,001 NGOs dealing with FGM, and yet my county is still leading the country because a lot of people are doing business with this. And I think a lot of people have also done business with women empowerment. That is why parliaments across the continent, because I have been to a lot of these conferences, summits all over the world. Even recently we were with Dr. Lisa in Ghana and for a summit, and still all the women, majority of the women in African parliaments are very egocentric. Do not believe that the sun shines for everybody. Do not believe that positions, me lighting your candle does not dim mine. It actually gives us more light. But a lot of these women, who most of them are 40 and above, are actually fighting the younger women, are always against empowering other girls. You do not want to teach other people the secret of what got you there because you're afraid they'll come and take your space, which I think that is crap. Because, and I remember the first time I met Dr. Louisa, and I was like, wow, this is the first time I am seeing a successful, beautiful lady like Dr. Louisa actually talking about empowering other young, successful, beautiful girls. And young, beautiful girls. A lot of times, women are created in a very funny shape and form because I mean character-wise, nothing physical. Women have something called attitude. So you walk into a room, instead of getting a warm reception, you don't know these people and they start making faces on you. Is that worth it? And I'm feeling like there must be a secret somewhere, because if women can be empowered, if all women work together, this world will be a better place. One of my favorite Pan-Africanists is Thomas Sankara, and he said that women hold half of the sky. If women hold half of the sky, and these women, assuming are acting as a block, they are holding half of the sky, the men are holding the other half. If these women pull their hands off from the other half of the sky will fall, or half of the sky will fall. And then the sky that the men are holding will stand still. But I feel like there might be a conspiracy or something fashioned to ensure that women are never united. But the first time I met Dr. Louisa, she was very, and I'm not even praising you, doctor, she was very deliberate about empowering women. And when we started this, she actually mentored me to start this mentoring of mentors program. Mentoring of mentors program will be absolutely focused on ensuring that we bring more women into the spaces that we already occupy. That we ensure that a lot of women develop wings to do well in whatever sector they are in. I was a beauty queen before I got into politics. Professionally, I have done finance. My background is in finance professionally, and I was a beauty queen, the reigning Miss Commonwealth Kenya. In the beauty industry, or rather the pageant industry, we are taught a lot of things. We are taught how to be courteous, something called common sense, which I am told is not common to everybody. So I always try to take people I meet as they are. I don't judge anybody. If I meet you, I will treat you like as kindly as possible, like a human being, until you lose my respect. Because I have been at the receiving end. First of all, I don't look like people from my community. Probably because of my origin and far-fetched 5 generations ago. And anytime I go, I'm in the city, of course, and I go to a meeting and I'll introduce myself as a Samburu, assuming most of you here, I think, know of Fulani. It's much famous than my tribe. So you go to a meeting and say, okay, I'm a Fulani. Oh my God, you don't look like Fulani. Oh, Fulani make it to the city? And I'm like, what? Yeah, we actually came. We started going to school because we are leading currently at a 50% rate of illiteracy because of our culture. And a lot of times I get that backlash. And what I mean, for a selfish person, they would want to be like, okay, I'm the only one who will be here alone. But and I'll take monopoly and occupy this space for as long as I want. But for me, it rings a different bell in my head. I want powerful, fearless women from my community to come and occupy these spaces, so that when somebody turns like this, it is a Samburu. You turn like this, it's another Samburu. And sorry, my battery is going off. I'll just call. Sorry about that. So basically, there is no harm in ensuring women rights. Another thing that has just been discussed here. Oh, before I forget, we have had I have had a lot of events, African events, where I've met very wonderful lady, like at the in Dubai at one of the summits. I met the Vice President of Liberia, Her Excellency Dr. Joel Howard Taylor, and she was actually one of the first women to hold my hand and actually tell me, we need more young women like you to take up spaces. Remember, she's a woman in politics, and she was also doing a similar project of mentoring of mentors. So because she's also a very good friend to Dr. Louisa, I was very sure. Sorry. Ama zunguka uweke hapa. So sorry about that. So for the fact that I met a powerful woman in politics and she was ready to mentor me, and then finally, I was actually wondering, wow, so you mean there are actually women who are in politics and very successful to the level of a vice president and wanting to mentor other young women in politics? There's a sigh of breath air, because what I'm used to is something completely different. And for your information, like I said earlier on, I have never wanted to be in politics. But I think some women have a gift of spotting a potential in somebody. So somebody somewhere spotted my potential when I was in student leadership in the University of Nairobi. I was schooled at the University of Nairobi, and I was one of the leaders at the Students Association, but a quiet leader. I think somebody one of those gatekeepers in politics spotted me, and she started fighting me. So before I was Miss Commonwealth, I was also Miss Tourism. That was my first crown, Miss Tourism. And it was from then that this particular person started fighting me. And I was like, why is this person fighting me? Then I had very wonderful friends who always pushed me, because even when I was going into pageant, remember I told you I was a tomboy who never cared about makeup or looking good, and I was also very shy, and I'm an introvert. That was not a space for me. It took friends, my own friends and family, to tell me you actually have to go and contest for Miss Tourism. So I was people sent me even transport money, random people, and then some youths created a page. See the power of having proper friends around you. They created a Facebook page. I think it still exists. Then they were writing Hezena Lemalitan for Miss Tourism Samburu. And I was like, wow, where am I going to start with this? I don't even know how to apply makeup. How am I going to live through this? And I'm a village girl. So it took a while. I had like almost 3 days to deliberate and do a soul searching. And I was like, maybe it's God's intention for me to go through that path. And I went and look at my life. From Miss Tourism, I went to Miss Commonwealth, and then from Miss Commonwealth, I had a lot of platforms to advocate for goodwill and cultural cohesion among our people, and empower girls, and do donations and charities to people. And through that, can you believe people started knowing me, and people started saying, oh, actually this girl is so aggressive, she's humble, she's all blah blah. I'm like, why then should I now, when I'm in politics, not hold somebody's hands up and pull them, or make them explore their potential because somebody else did that for me? I went into pageant and it changed my life. That's why I learned how to what empowerment is, especially through Miss Commonwealth Kenya. I got one of the best mentors there, who happened to be my national director, and she was also Miss Commonwealth Africa in 2010. So she literally held me. She was holding a ball of a naive village girl in her hands. She will tell me, this is how you dress. When you wear a strap, spaghetti, a dress with the spaghetti straps, you don't wear your brush showing. Those little things go a long way, because we don't know these kind of things. We are village girls, so all we know is how to wear a full dress like what I'm wearing, and life goes on. And you need to be empowered radically across every sector, in how you talk, in how you eat, in how you relate with people, in how you interact. I personally believe that is what empowerment is. You just don't, also how you dress. Your dress explains or introduces you before you even speak. But if you're out there dressed like a ratchet, you cannot expect to meet serious networks that can change your life. The way you talk to people, the way you interact with people are able to read you. And a lot of times you meet very powerful people who can change your life. But because of how you are interacting and how you are talking, they have already made an opinion about you, and that's the end of you. But this is why we have this mentoring of mentors, because we want to create a generation, to mushroom a whole new generation of girls who are fearless but mentored, fearless but empowered, fearless but informed and exposed. So we're going to do all of that in the mentorship. As regards overcoming trauma, I know we live in my peers and people younger than me are going through a lot of pressure, because now there's something called Instagram, there's something called TikTok with too much filter, and then you come and see somebody has filtered everything. There's nothing real about them, and then you want to be like them. And if you knew what I keep telling serious girls, if you knew how much problems these people go through, because I have been in that industry. Being in the pageant industry exposes you to a lot. But I've always been a girl who learns through other people's mistakes. And you have to underline that. You learn through other people's mistakes. You don't believe on the fact that I have to make mistakes. You have to make mistakes so that you learn. You don't have to make mistakes actually. Let a mistake be a mistake. It was accidental. You didn't know. That's fine. But don't go deliberately trying out substances, trying out things because you want to learn. Then there are people who are older than you, actually who've been through all that problem. I don't want to talk badly, but there are people who've been through that kind of situation, and then they come and tell you because they feel like they are more experienced than you, but they are experiencing the wrong things. Then they come and tell you, no, you have to do these things now so that you don't do them when you're old. What would make me want to do mistakes when I'm old? Because I have never understood that. Probably I'm young, probably I'm growing, but I don't think so. You learn from other people's mistake. See these things you're being taught over and over by mentors. Don't make empowerment be so boring. Learn this today, let's move to something else. So once I mentor a mentor, that mentor goes now to mentor others, and we move forward. Let's not go round and round and round in circles. Don't beat mentor Louisa, Dr. Louisa, to keep repeating the same things over and over. Because I will talk about the power of social media influence. I can tell you, let me give you an example. In Kenya, for instance, and I'm very sure in so many African countries, I have friends who are, well, acquaintances, people I actually know, maybe even some are my neighbors, that are faking life. They do not have the flamboyant things they're displaying. They do not have the luxury they're displaying. You see a young girl who has no any serious job, rolling out bundles of dollars. It could be probably from a wash person. It could be probably from their fake. It could even be papers printed. All those cars they are riding, they do not belong to them. Sorry to say this to you, because I know things. It is not theirs. All this money they're showing, what things they are buying, this is money belonging to men. So how are we raising mentors? How are we empowering you if we are telling you to just admire what these girls are doing? To just admire, to grow up to be a woman who wants to use a man's money. When you can have your own money and be more self-sufficient than that man, then you will get that man as just a bonus to your life. Meaning you can do without, you can do with. It doesn't matter because you have your goal focused. Do not lose sight of a gazelle chasing a squirrel. And those Instagram models are squirrels. Those Instagram, TikTok girls, squirrels. You will lose sight of a gazelle chasing a squirrel. I know for a fact we're living in a world that has a lot of pressures. You get somebody has filters, somebody is going on trips. Do you guys know that there are websites that you join? And I'm sorry to say this, but we have to empower you. We have to let you know everything. Even God, when he created people who are in the Garden of Eden, gave them a choice. Do this or this. Choose the sin or not. They chose the sin. That's why we are here struggling until today. See the consequences of choosing something bad. We're still on earth digging and toiling every day. Otherwise, right now, we would have been so naked in the Garden of Eden, eating fruits and covering ourselves with leaves. But because of a hard choice, we have to work and work and work and work our heads off. Now, the same thing I will do. I'm not obviously God, nothing close to it, but this life always presents you choice A or choice B. What you choose determines your next step. Your next choice C, choice D. Your next, what you choose determines another one. So see life with a trajectory of my choices today affect my choices tomorrow. My choices tomorrow affect my choices in the future. And that is how I manage to maintain my focus every single day. I have never suffered for choosing the right thing. I have never suffered for refusing peer pressure to influence me. I have never suffered from lacking. I have discovered this in life. There are days, of course, I couldn't even afford my rent. Just a few years back, because I was a young girl in the city. And you know what I did? I bought actually even around COVID time, not far from now, we were laid off from work. And these are the naked truths that we must tell girls so that they have real life human beings and mentors to relate to. Around the start of COVID, there was lockdowns all over. I was working with the Kenya Anti-Corruption Commission, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission of Kenya, and before I joined politics. And we were sadly laid off. Most of us were told to work from home for a while. And obviously our salary was not coming in as expected. And for your information, I couldn't even afford my rent. There were so many things we couldn't do. And do you know, I was making buns. I was making pastries in my house and selling because I was so sure that I'm not gonna do the wrong thing, which I can do. I can do anything I want. I can be I can post my naked photos and get what I want. But what are the long-term consequences of that? I can join these websites where they will post naked photos. I have the body for that. I've been a beauty queen. But why am I not doing it? Because of the long run, the consequences in the long run. And I know where I am going. But again, if you don't know where you're going, you might not be able to do the right things between now and where you envision yourself to be in about 30 years from now. In about 30 years from now, I envisioned myself as the Director General of World Trade Organization. Let me give you an example. So right now I am a senator. I envision myself as a governor someday, and then maybe a vice president, not a president, because I come from a minority tribe. That's one thing I was taught in school. You have to dream rationally. Probably if there will be zero tribalism in Kenya, I will be president. But right now I have to limit my dreams according to what is rationally achievable. If I envision myself as the vice president of Kenya someday, as the director general of World Trade Organization, it will be a thorough interview. I will be running against several candidates, and I'm dreaming of. I have to imagine what questions I will be asked that day. That is how you get focused. I have to imagine issues that will crop up, things I did because I just decided to post myself naked on Instagram. You see any girl who's naked, half naked on Instagram, everybody can afford bikinis. Even in the olden African days, we used to walk naked. But in this today's world, it is not applicable. It's not applicable. Let's be very realistic. So imagine your Oluwatoyin Ogun Kami. Wonderful. So imagine you one day as the vice president, I assume this name is from Nigeria. Then somebody picks up your naked photos that you took on Instagram in a bikini because you wanted to party on a yacht. And then people or maybe they are interviewing ministers. Your photos crop up. What will you tell the people? But let me tell you, you have to distinguish yourself from all these people. You see girls doing this, you see girls running for wash Yahoo boys. It is because they do not have a vision of where they're going. They do not have a vision of what they want. They do not have a vision of who they will be. And you have no right, you have no ultimatums to be like them. You can be anything else you want, but you have to envision who you are, who you will be, and how you move from point A to point B. That's how I envision myself. So I try to live myself with mistakes that I can avoid. I try to keep it 0 mistakes. With those ones that I cannot avoid, or they just happen because they will always happen, that's why they're called mistakes, I leave it to God. Now, how I overcome trauma. When I lost my father in 2014, I went through a serious depression for the whole of 2015. I can tell you no amount of anything else can help you as much as prayer. Prayer is so somebody is saying slay queen. Yes, so slay queens have no vision in life, they are not going anywhere, and their bodies will be so wasted in a few years. We do not want our young, beautiful, empowered girls to be slay queens. No, you have better things to do. Praying. You have to pray. You have to pray and pray and pray. You will achieve nothing, whether it is Allah, whether it is whoever your God is. Please pray. Because no matter what, being spiritual is actually, I feel like it's scientific, because when you're spiritual, it's like when you meditate, when you sit down and think, you're able to let go a lot of loads within you. And when you pray, it's a form of you're accepting your weaknesses, you're accepting your problems, and the first step to healing and overcoming whatever you're going through is to pray, is to accept, sorry. When you accept your problems, your inadequacies, your sufferings, you begin to heal. And for me, that's what prayer does. I grew up in a very strong Christian school, and until today, I still pray. No amount of counseling, for me, I'm talking about my experience. Different things work for different people. No amount of counseling, no amount of what can compensate for what prayer can do. Because you are sitting somewhere, a lot of us can be arrogant at times. You're told you have this problem, you do not want to accept it. But the same arrogant person can walk like this with their head down up to the altar and go and pray and tell God of all the problems and the shortcomings that they refuse to acknowledge before people. So no matter what, please just pray. It's very scientific. Also, usually try to find somebody whom you're very close to, or somebody whom you feel can give you a lot of wisdom, and then just explain it to them. Just say to them, even if they don't respond or anything, just say it to them. If you can't, write it down, then roll that paper and tear it. What else should I talk about? I've almost exhausted what I wanted to say, but anyway, I will welcome questions if you have any questions. And also, don't forget what a mentor is. A lot of people confuse between a mentor and a role model. A role model is somebody you see from a distance and envision yourself as that person and would wish or dream to be that person. You've not necessarily ever interacted with this person, or you've never seen this person. It's close to a crush with a purpose. So if you a role model, for example, who can I say is my role model? Ilan Omar is one of my role models, because she's a young girl who's very aggressive and fearless in representing the people of Minnesota, and in the United States. But a mentor is somebody who you actually have interacted with, is talking to you. You can reach any time. have spoken to you, somebody that has guided you, somebody that has told you, do this, do that, don't do that. It's like they're like your guide, they're like your compass. So it is very safe to say that one of your mentors is Dr. Luisa or Senator Ezena, because at least you have spoken to me, I have taught you something, I have made you change something or believe in something. Okay, a lot of times you can have a role model and a mentor in the same person, like I do in Dr. Luisa. She's both, but she doesn't know. So you have a person whom you are like, wow, I would want to be them. You are proud to be anything about them. What else? It's like modeling. A lot of you are not in modeling. Let me teach you something. Not all models are beauty queens, but all beauty queens are models. And then we have models and supermodels. If you go on YouTube and Google maybe models, because I know there are some of you might be interested in going to modeling, you know, the people whom the food is refusing to get into the bones, like how I was some few years ago. You can be very perfect models and you can conquer the world. Wherever you're planted, you bloom. So if you Google on YouTube or you search on YouTube, models, supermodels, there's a way models work. Models are like the likes of Gigi Hadid and whatnot. Supermodels is like Tyra, the way Tyra Bank works. There's a way you walk. So beauty queens are the people, well, they're not necessarily all beautiful. We are not. It's just a name. Beauty queens are people who held crowns. You know, people who are crowned. Miss something, or Mrs. blah, blah, blah. Those are the beauty queen. Any beauty queen is a model. But not all models are beautiful because not all models have gotten crowns. It's the same thing. And all supermodels are models, but not all models are supermodels. We have Ajuma Nasenyana, that's a supermodel, Tyra Banks, Naomi Campbell, so many of them, those are supermodels. And they have learned the skill now. They have like been models who have been cut out the niche and become have very unique catwalk, and they walk elegantly. Like when they walk, you just want to look at them. It's the same as role model and mentor. So don't rush to call somebody you've never met, you've never spoken to, your mentor. That is, if you like them, if you admire them, that's your role model. You put it as a wish on a wish board. This is what I would want to be. This is what I would want to do. You can also read their stories. How did they get to where they are? And then a lot of things will help your life. Also, as a young girl, read and read and read. Just make sure you have something between your ears. Be knowledgeable. Even if you failed in school, you can still have a lot of knowledge about things. You can still know a lot of things. Watch documentaries. Know what the world is about. So that if you meet yourself among serious, powerful people, they can actually nod and be like, whoa, she's brains. She's not just looks. This is not a slay queen, you know? A lot of times I'm judged because of how I look. I'm very young, by the way. I'm very small, tiny. So I'm judged. And when I go out with my friends, sometimes even they might not recognize that, oh, this is the same politician, because I dress very differently in Senate. I dress very maturely, just to make people respect that I'm a big girl, you know? Because if I'm to dress like my age mates, then they will say, this is a very young girl. This is what I was talking about, dress code. So when I go out with my friends and they'll be like, people will be like, oh, these are just young girls who have come here, you know? And a lot of times when I go out with my friends, it's because we are going to do something very important. We are going to network or something very legit, okay? And when I go out there, I'll be quiet. People will judge me that she's a slay queen until I speak. somebody will want to pack up themselves and run away because they are so intimidated and they are almost feeling so ashamed. Yeah, somebody is saying, dress the way you want to be addressed. Perfect. Let's summarize it that way. All right, I will welcome any questions. Over to you, Doctor.
Oh my goodness, Her Excellency, I can listen to you all day because you have so much wisdom, so much knowledge, and you really walk the talk. So you're not just saying what you haven't done, it is what you live by day in, day out. And it's just beautiful. The way that when I see how you embrace the girl child, even in your everyday life, I watch how you pay attention to the tiny little girl on the roadside and you see and believe in her potential in where she's going. It's just beautiful. I admire that so much about you, and just seeing that the future is even greater for the girl child, even through the mentorship program, even through empowering other people to want to take up the front stage and go on the front line. Thank you so much. This is so 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 powerful. The comment section is just going crazy. It's just going crazy. Everybody's so excited and so happy. Ladies, please get in the comment box and leave at least two comments of what you've grabbed from Her Excellency's session. I'm going to read mine. Mine is like a whole, I don't know, I've written like how many pages here. She said, you have to be bold and fearless. Listen, as soon as she said that, I kind of heard it in my ear like ding dong. It's like ding dong. You have to be bold and fearless. There is no way that you can do it without being bold and fearless. You have to be shameless. Her Excellency, it kind of seems like in Africa, there's so much shame that is reserved for the girl child. Everyone expects the girl child to be ashamed. Oh, she has a big boobs. She has to be ashamed. Oh, she has tiny legs. She has to be ashamed. But the man has tiny legs. Nobody's talking about it. The man's face, probably, sometimes a man has a face that looks like a chimpanzee. Nobody's worried about it. As soon as the girl has a tiny little pimple, oh, look at her pimpled face, so ugly. Hey, look at her nose. Look at her this. So much shame. I mean, especially in Africa, too much shame about the girl child. Oh, look at her. The girl child is ashamed of her period. Sis, it's great that we have our senator here. I talked to one of your colleagues some time ago with the whole thing that was going on with period, and she was, she had her outfit stained, and people were backlashing this lady and tearing her down. Why would you be stained with the period? I mean, it's just common sense to know she was trying to create an awareness, period. Who is going to be happy sitting down with God, please? Hello? But everyone looked for an opportunity to tear her down. So there's so much shame that is reserved for the girl child. The girl child is raped, she has to be ashamed. The girl child, this happened to you, oh, you must be ashamed of yourself. What about try to listen and get to learn about who she is and the contents that she carries? And the minute we slap them down like that, she's lost it. And that's all about the survival mode. She's lost it. She doesn't know where to go. And I just love how you broke things down, and really even going to the online presence is so important, my sister, because I'm so sick of this slay queen thing. I get so sick of it, and I'm just like, keep your breast at home. We don't want to see it. Everybody has one. Keep your tummy at home. We don't want to see it. Relax, okay? Dress decently. Dress how you want to be addressed. And I'm so happy that you shared that people can see that you didn't have, even though you were a beauty queen, you didn't have to have everything shooting out for you to get to get a senatorial seat. You knew exactly what you're doing. You knew you had to be bold. You knew you were a trailblazer. You knew what you wanted to do. You knew that you stood for something greater than yourself. You knew what the problem was. You knew you had to change the narrative. I can go on and on and on. I mean, look at the comment section and said, be a trailblazer. Be bold and fearless. We correct children by shaming is something we've learned. That is true. We just keep shaming them. In Africa, I don't know about other countries, but in Nigeria, as soon as a child does something, say, look at your head. I'm like, wait, what's the problem? Like, let's address the problem. Like, you look at your coconut head. I said, is that Is that a thing? Like, why do we have to address and bring some kind of shame on the girl child? But thank you so much, Her Excellency. Thank you for your time, for being with us. Thank you for so much knowledge that you've shared with us. We're so happy, so excited, so blessed to have been with you. And even with your busy schedule, and I know it is past, it's midnight or something crazy. I don't even want to look at the time in Kenya, but you're here with us. So graceful with so much wisdom. You inspire us every single day. You inspire me every single day. Everyone is just so excited and so happy to have you in our midst. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As we continue the conversation, of course, I want to keep you here forever, but I have to understand protocol that, hey, if she's going to come, she's going to have to go. And I really, really honor your time. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for showing us that it is possible, because I think I want to get the form next time and just kind of run for office. Enough of it. Who feels like that? Please get into the comment box. Who feels
I
like
feel like that.
No, let's go.
You
Let's go.
actually fit to run for office in the US. You are ripe.
I want to go back to my sisters in Nigeria. But thank
You
you
are
so
ripe anywhere in the world. You fit. You have a very beautiful gift to blend in anywhere. I can see you have learned a lot of Swahili nowadays. You are speaking more fluent Swahili than me, yet you were in Kenya for a short while.
I know,
You are
right?
so unstoppable, you woman.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sis. Thank
All
you. I
right.
appreciate you.
It's been
Okay.
wonderful. God bless.
Bless you too. Thank you so much. So we're gonna bring on Coach Toyi. Oh my God, sis. Ladies, let me tell you, today is power packed. I don't know if you've been, giving us all the pity parties of, oh my God, somebody told me I wasn't good enough, I wasn't sure I was beautiful. Somebody cut it off. If you're just arriving in the conversation, I don't know where you've been, but we've had an amazing time dealing with freeze, flight, and fight, which is supposed to be survival mode for the girl child. And we're just like, let's save us from that. Let's save the girl child. Let's save the woman. There are other things that we can do. We've listened to amazing speakers already, amazing mentors, powerful women leaders. Coach Etima came here and said, drop it. I don't want to hear it. Just drop it and embrace the knowledge. Change your narrative, how you want to see things. Let's do it differently. I love it. And we had Ambassador Uyime King. She came in to give us the tools that everyone needs a gang, a girl gang. They need to be in a hub. So if you have a girl child, you have a sister, you have a cousin, you have a neighbor who is on social media for the wrong thing, who is among the Slay Queens Club, please, 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 somebody help me. Put the social media link of all these powerful women leaders, because you need to follow them. You need to follow Ambassador Onyema King. She has something for you. You need to follow, Coach Uche, who was here before, the emotional intelligence expert. You need to follow Coach Etima. She has the Girl Hub. And there's something for you that is coming up. Girl Hub, you have to be there. Even please, Coach Etima, how do I get into Girl Hub? Because me too, I'm a girl. Put it in the comment box. Let me know if I can be accepted in the Girl Hub. You will see me with my short skirt there. You're not going to believe it. Okay. So please put me in the Girl Hub, Coach Etima, please. How do I get into the Girl Hub? Do I need to pay? What do we need to do? Please write it in the comment box, because we are all coming over. And thank you so much, everyone who is here. It's just amazing. Ambassador Sams, it's great to have you. Dr. Julia, Tamara, it's good to have you in the house. My sister Blessing from ECOWAS. Yay! It's good to have you. Everyone is just making me so happy. I mean, there's so many people that have missed their comments, but Dr. Raymond was here. Dr. Jason was here from Kenya. So many amazing people. And then, of course, we have Deputy Minister Khadijatu from Sierra Leone. Thank you, my sister, for honoring the invitation. This is just so beautiful. Coach Kemi is here. That's right. Another member here. Girl Hub, here I come. Please, where is Coach Etima? Put it in the comment box. How do we get on the Girl Hub? I have another one here. Fumilayo says, how do we join the Girl Hub? That's it. Do we have a t-shirt? Please, I'm ready. I'm serious VIP member. I'm coming up. That's right. Ambassador Oyime King says she's ready for the Girl Hub. Coach Etima, are you ready for us? Because we are taking over. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. I love it. This is beautiful. And Coach Etima, Girl Hub is coming with us to Kenya because we're doing something powerful in Kenya. So Kenyans, you better get the t-shirt for Girl Hub because when we arrive there, you have no idea what's coming for you. It's going to be explosive. All right, so my sister is here, Coach Toyi. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's so good to have you. Ladies, this woman here, I don't even want to say much. First of all, she's a parenting coach. But you know what I loved about her? She's also a therapist. I mean, when she was, okay, you can join the Girl Hub by chatting the admin. Okay, you're making it long now, sis. How do we get the t-shirt? I love the t-shirts. I love the t-shirt, sis. Put it there. Okay, somebody else wants the t-shirt, period. She said she wants a hat too. I hope you have a hat. Face card, please. Please let us do this. I know that they have an event that's coming up so that we can be with them and go and make all the noise and empower the girls. Right now, we already have like 10 people who are joining the Girl Hub. Are you still waiting? You better jump in. Please, sis, make sure that my t-shirt is yellow. We like it loud. So make it yellow. That's the color of my own t-shirt. I don't want any other color. I want it yellow. And of course, I know Coach Kemi is going to go with yellow too. Awesome. We're having a great conversation. If you're just joining us, it's been a great time. And if you're just joining, make sure that you go back to this video to watch it over and over again. Because you know what? The girl child is serious business. I am sick and tired in Africa where we have been told we belong to the kitchen. Like, who does that? Hello? Listen, it's time to shake off your smallness. It's time to shake off your unworthiness. It's time to tear off every evil garments of shame and disgrace and I'm not good enough and victim mentality and why did this happen to me and why did that? Stop it. You need to sing a new music, okay? We're tired. I was raped 54 times. Okay, what did you do with it? We don't want to be stuck there. And that's why you need to be in the right environment with the right group of people. Join Girl Hub. They're there to, to empower you so that even if you're on social media, you're doing something that is great. Please get on social media. You can find Her Excellency Senator Hezener. Go there. You will see all the amazing work that she's doing. Listen, go there and follow her. And every single day, I go there every morning to see what she's doing because my sister is always dropping something hot. So when you know your coins, when you're knowledgeable, when you build yourself up, you're not afraid of anybody. You show up and show out. There's nothing like, oh, what to say. I'm in front of a man. They give you the microphone, you have nothing to say. Stop singing. We need a seat at the table. When we give you the seat, how are you going to sit? Do you have the right thing to sit with? That's why you need to be in this conversation. If you're thinking about somebody, there's somebody that's coming to your mind and you're like, you know what? I think Sandra should be listening to this. Go bring Sandra now so that it will be one pain off your back. That's why we're here. So I'm just going to turn this conversation because you know what? When we talk about trauma and shame and anxiety and, survival mode, we cannot complete this conversation without bringing in the parenting coach. What is the role of the parents? Because I find that sometimes nowadays the mothers are too busy. Sometimes the mothers even do more selfie than the children. How many people agree with that? The mothers are more drama queens. I mean, I saw a post on Facebook a few days ago, and they put a picture of a little baby, and they said, "Oh, this baby looked this way because the mom was always doing a selfie when she was pregnant." So I don't have a problem with you taking beautiful photos, but the thing is, there you go. Mothers are the real drama queens. That's right. We have left the girl child to bring herself up. And then you keep asking yourself, why is my daughter this way? Why is my sister this way? But I'm going to say something. I know you're not going to like what I'm going to say. But the parent is the one who is the most influential person in the life of the child. So if the most influential person in the life of your child is Beyonce, Beyonce is the mother. I know you're not going to like me. You're not going to like me. Some of you have lost your kids to people on social media. Some of you have lost your kids to slay queens because you've not been paying attention. You've not been working and guiding them. Look at what Her Excellency said. She said, even her father was very present in her younger years. He empowered her to become who she is, to become fearless, to know that there is nothing she could not achieve. So right now, this particular speaker is going to be grinding it hard with the parents. I know you're not going to like me after this, but this is the hard truth as I hand this over to my sister. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lusa. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you to all the speakers that have gone ahead of me and you've said quite a whole lot of things. I want to say thank you to Auntie Tima. Thank you to the Senator. Thank you to Ambassador King. And thank you to Mrs. Uche. So thank you so much, everyone. So why am I here really? I'm here to speak to parents. If you want your child to excel, if you want your child to be the best person God has created her to be, it's your duty, it's your responsibility. Before there's a mentor, before there's a coach, before there are friends, you are the first person in the life of that child. So it's very important as parents that we know that our role in the lives of our children, especially our girl child, is not just to provide for them physically, it's not just to provide the roof for them, it's not just to provide clothing, it's much more deeper than that. So every parent, you need to know that your role in the life of your girl child is to guide that child to meet their emotional needs, their spiritual needs, their social needs, and also their academic needs. If you are in the life of your child and you are not physically present, you are not emotionally present, guess what? Somebody else is raising that child. And we're talking about girls stepping out and doing great things. We don't want girls that are just out there being slay queens and they feel that the best thing about them is just their body. No, God has created that child. God has created your child to be a co-creator. God has created that girl to be a co-creator with her. God has created that girl to birth forth the future generation. So your role in the life of your daughter is to bring forth everything God has put in this child. So as a parent, you need to know that your role is much more than providing for the basic. Those ones are just the basic. The real job is in you guiding your daughter to discover and to fulfill her God-given purpose on earth. So the question I will ask you now, who is raising your daughter? Who is guiding your daughter? Who is bringing out those innate gifts that God has put in your daughter? If you're not the one, guess what? It's somebody out there that is doing it. And that's why it's very important as parents that we take our role very seriously. Now, how can we raise girls who will become future leaders? The first thing you need to know as parents is that the parenting aspect, the parenting duty starts with you. Your role in the life of your daughter is for you to be a teacher, a guide, a counselor, a mentor, everything that your girls are looking for out there. You are meant to be that person for your girl child. And one of the reasons I do what I do, I work as a therapist. And every day I see nothing less than 3 to 4 girls who are battling with either substance use disorder or a mental health issue. And most times when I interact with these individuals, I realize that most of this thing is due to the fact that there was no parental guidance. Why would a girl go into substance use? Why is your daughter battling with mental health issues? Why is your daughter battling with low self-esteem? Why is your daughter battling with body not liking her body and all that? How do you speak to your daughter? How do you project your daughter to the world? What do you tell your daughters? What do they see about themselves? So it's very important as parents that we guide our daughters, we provide them with the necessary guidance for them to be the best version of themselves. So how do we do this? One of the things I tell parents that your role is one that is holistic and one that is proactive. What do I mean by that? For you to raise a well-balanced child, you have to look at the total development of the child. You have to look at the child's physical development. You have to look at the child's emotional and psychosocial development. You have to look at the child's mental and spiritual development. So being a parent simply means you are that person that is in charge of the total development of your child. Now, another thing you need to know as parents is that you need to be proactive. Raising girls, raising daughters in the 21st century is not like the way we were raised. There are a lot of things these girls are contending with now. They're contending with peer pressure, they're contending with drugs and substance, they're contending with influences from social media, they're contending with body shaming, they're contending with molestation, they're contending with identity and gender crisis, they're contending with materialism and also mental health issues like depression, anxiety, and self-esteem. So as parents, you need to know that in the life of your child, you are raising a child holistically, and you have to be proactive. You have to be a step ahead. Now, the child you're raising, the daughter you're raising, first thing first, start with the end in mind. What type of adult do you want your daughter to be? I'm not talking in terms of profession. I'm not talking in terms of career. I'm talking in terms of character. What type of person do you want your daughter to be? What kind of adult do you want your daughter to be? What character trait do you want your daughter or daughters to have? All these things should be what you have as a parent. You can't give what you don't have. So if you're a parent, if you're a slay queen mama as a mother, and you want your daughter to be well behaved, and you are not well behaved as a parent, your daughter is going to pick what you're doing. So whatever character trait you want your daughter to possess, whatever type of adult you want your daughter to be, it starts from you in the home. What are you doing? What are the examples? What are you role modeling for your daughters? There are times I when I have sessions with them adolescents, and I ask them, so who's your role model? Most times they don't pick their parents. Most times they don't pick their parents. They pick either a celebrity out there, they pick one slay mama on social media, most times they don't pick their parents. So if we as parents, we are not modeling the right thing for our children, how can we be their role models? How can we influence them positively? So as parents, any character trait you want to see in your daughter, please know that that character trait starts with you. Now, I've written 5 tips on how to connect with our daughters and how to raise them appropriately for this 21st century. And it's an acronym, TEENS, teens. It's an acronym, TEENS. And what do they stand for? T stands for trust. Your role in the life of your daughter is to build a trusting relationship with her. If you do not have a trusting relationship with your daughter, it will be very difficult for you to influence her. It will be very, very difficult for you to teach her things you want her to know. How do you build a trusting relationship with your daughter? You show them love from infancy. So we have something called the attachment theory that states that children who have responsive parents, they tend to form attachment to this parent. And when they grow older, they tend to have social abilities. They're able to have good relationship with other people. So as parents, to build a trusting relationship with them, you need to show them love. You need to cuddle them. You need to research has shown that mental illness. So when I started, I said I see young adults, I see young adolescent girls in the therapy room, counseling room, and I'm wondering what happened. Most times, parents are too busy for their children. Most times, parents have outsourced this responsibility to nannies, to caregivers, to other people, but to themselves. Your daughter needs a safe and secure environment to grow and blossom. Your daughter needs a secured and safe environment to blossom so that they can develop into that person God has created them to be, so that they can develop into loving, caring people, people that love themselves. Another thing we need to know when it comes to building a trusting relationship with our children, our girls, is that we need to create a positive home environment for them. Let's create that home environment where your daughters can speak with you. In my counseling room, I've seen cases of girls battling with so many things, yet their parents do not know. And I ask them, why haven't you shared this with your parents? They go, I don't have this relationship with my parents. I can't tell them things bothering me. Because if I tell them, they'll just lose it. Or they'll blame me, or they'll shame me for suffering. I've had patients tell me that I'm suffering from a mental illness, yet my parents are still shaming me that I'm suffering from mental illness. So if you are that parent that you correct your child by shaming, guess what you're doing? You're driving the girl out into the arms of someone that will embrace her. And that person might be the wrong person to embrace your daughter. The next step is the E. And what is E? We need to teach them to explore themselves. What do I mean by this? Encourage your daughter to discover themselves. Auntie Etima said a lot about allowing our children to know their strengths. It's very important. Who is your daughter? What is the identity? One of the things we need to know as parents is that we should let our daughters know that their identity is not in their body. Their identity is not in their beauty. Their identity is not even in their brain. Let them know themselves. Who are they? Who are you as a person? And the only way they can know who they are is by knowing their strengths, by knowing their abilities, by knowing their likes and dislikes. One of the first things I do in my counseling room when I have counseling session with young adults and adolescents is I tell them to talk to me, tell me about yourself. And believe me, half of them will tell me, I don't know myself. I'm like, what do you mean by you don't know yourself? Okay, just talk to me. Who are you? What are your likes? Well, and they go, I don't know myself. Okay, what are the things your parents tell you? They go, my mom does not affirm me. My dad does not affirm me. The only thing they do is to shame me, to insult me, and they go on and on and on like that. And I'm like, if as parents, we do not affirm our children, if as parents, we do not tell our children, we do not applaud them when they do good things, we do not tell them, oh, you're so good in this, you're so great in that, how would they know themselves? How would they know themselves? So it's very important as parents that we encourage our daughters to discover themselves. Let them know who they are, not what social media is telling them to be. A lot of girls they're so skilled, they're so brilliant, they have so many strengths in them, yet they don't know this about themselves. I was having a discussion with my daughter, and she said, Mommy, in my school, on the honors rolls, we have girls there. But these girls, do they really know who they are apart from the academics? So let our children, encourage them to explore themselves, encourage them to discover themselves, encourage them to know themselves. It's very important that this step is very important. Now, the third step, this second E, is we need to equip them with life skills. We need to equip them with life skills in becoming independent. One of the courses I run for young adults and adolescents it's titled Knowing Yourself. We need to equip them with life skills, self-mastery, knowing yourself and becoming the master of yourself. That's it's a self-mastery class where we teach life skills, which teach them how to. So as parents, you need to equip your children, your daughters, with life skills so that they can become independent individuals who would survive the changing world even when you're not around them. We need to equip them with skills that will help them cope with stress. In my next book coming out in January, titled Resilience, they have written a whole lot about how parents can equip their children with coping skills. Every day I see girls, I see young adults in my counseling room, and I'm wondering, is it that parents are no longer teaching their children how to cope with daily stress? So what are the skills we need to equip our daughters with? We need to equip them with problem-solving skills, critical thinking, assertiveness, navigational skill, that's how to move from one place to another, from one state to another, from one country to another. It's very important we teach them that. We need to teach them personal and home management, how to take care of themselves. Now, when we're talking about taking care of themselves, it's not by bleaching or, doing BBL and all that. Taking care of what God has given to you. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of your skin. Be proud of everything God has endowed you with. We need to teach them about organization, how to organize themselves, time management, financial management. We need to teach them about social etiquette and social intelligence, how to hold conversations, how to initiate relationship and sustain relationships. We need to teach them about sexuality education. And Tetima said something about that. Sexuality education is very important. We need to teach them. We need to teach them about setting personal boundaries. It's not everybody that comes to you that you have to open up. When I talk about open up, meaning that exposing yourself, telling everybody about your secret, you have to learn to set boundaries. It's not everybody that comes around you that needs to be around you. You need to teach them how to set goals. We need to teach them resilience. Resilience is one skill that I see is lacking in the girls of the 21st century. Any small thing, they're breaking down. Any small thing, my mental health. Any small thing, oh, I have depression. Any small thing, oh, I can't cope. Let's teach them resilience, the ability to keep going. They meet a setback. What do? You retreat. You think about it. What is the next option? Teach them how to create options. We need to teach them about emotional intelligence. The other lady has spoken about it. The first week I spoke about emotional intelligence. And we also need to teach them to have hobbies. Who are you? What are your hobbies? What do you love doing? Social media is not one of the hobbies I'm talking about. Let them be able to have things they can do. And most times it's from these hobbies that some of them end up creating businesses later in future. So let them have hobbies. Let them learn craft and skills. Handcraft and hand skills, very important. As parents, equipping our children with skills is very, very important. In fact, if you cannot remember anything out of all I've said, equipping your daughters with skill is very, very important. Now, what is the end for? N stands for nurturing her spirituality. I'm a spiritual being and I believe in God. And I believe that as parents, we need to nurture our daughter's spirituality. One of the things I tell parents is your daughter's heart is so precious to God. She's the apple of God's eyes, right? And your ability to introduce her to God, her knowing God and connecting with Him, is one sure way of her navigating the 21st century. We need to teach them how to pray. We need to teach them how to stay connected with God. We need to teach them to know God's words. We need to teach them to know God's will for them, to know God's voice. It's very important that we nurture their spirituality. Without nurturing your daughter's spirituality, it's like you leaving her for the world. And one thing we need to know is that life abhors vacuum. So if your daughter is not being filled spiritually, she's being filled worldly. So we need to nurture her spirituality. Teach her about meditation. Teach her about journaling. Teach her about worshiping. Teach her about praising God. And guess what? Do you know that in mental health, these are tools we actually use? We teach spirituality. This is one of the tools we use in mental health, spirituality. And one of the things we tell them in therapy is that if you believe in a higher being, then you have every chance of recovering fast compared to people who do not believe in a higher being. So we need to nurture that spirituality. It's very, very important. Expose your daughters to different aspects of God. Let them know God as a loving father. Let them know God as a friend. Let not it be that the only time they pray to God is when they want something. Let them not see God as their ATM machine. God, I'm here now. Please help me do this. No, let them nurture the spirituality in such a way that they see God as their father. They see God as their friend. Then the last tip in guiding your daughter in the 21st century is S. That is structure. We need to create structure and we need to create structures and boundaries for them. This is one of the most important tool or aspect of parenting, because when you're able to create structures and boundaries for your daughters, it will help them. It provides them with guidance. It provides them with security. It provides them with a sense of discipline. And how do you do this? You clearly define your expectations. You communicate these expectations. You have to be consistent in doing this. So one of the things we need to know as parents, in conclusion, is that if you are not in the life of your daughters, somebody else is influencing your daughter. Our daughters are precious to God. Our daughters are precious because they are the custodian of the next generation. They'll be the ones that will pass your values, your teachings to the next generations. And as parents, we have to protect them, we have to prepare them, and we have to equip them. We have to protect them, we have to prepare them, and we have to equip them. They need to build resilience, they need to build grit for them to keep going on and to be the best version God has created them to be. So I just want to say thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Doctor. I'm out and done.
Wow, 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 sis. That was, oh my goodness. Ladies, please, what did you gain from this session? I have a lot. I have a lot. And I love the idea of teens. It's just so easy to remember. I love acronyms because it's easy for you to walk away with. What did you gain from this session? Please get in the comment box and post and just kind of comment with what you gained from this session. Everyone, listen, okay, now I got to put it up. Encourage, equip them with life skills, organization, sexuality, education, emotional intelligence, hobbies, pray, create a structure. Let's teach our children all these things. Yes, nurture your daughter spiritually. You need a microphone for that one. I tell you, sis, That's the only way. It's the Holy Spirit who's going to do it. It doesn't matter what you say. They're meeting with different kids every day. They are meeting with the devil himself. Like, I mean, seriously, we're
Oh,
here waiting for the
absolutely, yeah.
Antichrist. Is already arrived. If you see some of the things that we see on social media, you know the Antichrist is already here. So I don't know if we're waiting for another version of Antichrist, because what I see every single day is concerning. So you need to build and nurture them spiritually. I cannot say this enough. I was in a mother's conference not long ago, just I think last week or so, and I shared the same thing. We must do it. And ladies, I'm not saying something that I don't do. Every Sunday, this is an agreement. I told my daughter, I don't care what you're doing in school, but Sunday we must have a prayer time. I'm very traditional like that, because there's an adage in my local dialect that my mom used to say, but it means you cannot be looking for a black chicken when it's dark in the evening. That's, you're wasting your time. You need to know where the chicken is from morning, right? So parents, mothers, do not just sit down and then you're like, oh my God, I didn't know what happened. No, no, no. You are not present in her life. You are not doing it. And so when I see children who are struggling with certain challenges, I blame the mother. I blame the mother. What are you doing? You spend so much time flipping back and forth on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. That's like a full day job. If that's what you want to do, then put it on social media that you're a social media manager. That's it. Then you can just be flipping back and forth, comment, do this. And we can't keep doing that, people. We cannot. Can you hear me?
Yes,
I'm
I
not sure.
can.
Okay. It
Yes,
looks
I
like
can.
it
Yes, I
was
can.
silent
Yes.
for a minute. Okay. So we can't keep doing that. Instead of spending time with your girls, talk to them about everything. Talk to them about periods. I remember I went to a church one time and I saw a girl who was like 11-year old. It was her first day of her period and she was stained and she didn't even know what was going on. She was out of tune with her whole system. And I said to her, come, come, come. I took her to the bathroom, trying to fix her up. And I said, oh my God, your clothes are stained. There's nothing wrong with this, but do you have any parts? She didn't even have any parts. And then who is the mother going to be? You see the mother, she's going to be telling you, I have an 11-year-old and finding herself. What have you done with the 11-year-old? So please, at every point in time, and that's why we brought the parenting coach here. Parents, there is so much that you have to learn so that you can be able to nurture your child right. You're not going to bring the same system that your great grandmother used, because that's going to fail you.
Yep.
When your great grandmom was here, she was probably using the analog phone. How many of us had those phones that you're going to have to scream at the top of your voice, hello, before someone can hear you? But now
One day you have to turn round and round.
Right. So the children of nowadays, they've been created. I mean, the way God created them, they came with the brain that is really fast. They're very futuristic. They don't have the time. They don't even want you to waste their time. Whether you want to call them the microwave kid, whatever, it works. But these children know even better than you. If you don't, I mean, the things that they can find out in 1 second online, you're going to be sitting there like forever and you can't find it. So you need to be in the classrooms. So you need to connect with Coach Tui. She has programs for parents. Do not tell me that, no, I've been a mother for 25 years. Yes, you need to learn how to nurture the 25-year-old girl, because you're not going to do the same thing you were doing when she was 5 years old. If not, you will lose her. And that's why the society is filled with so many broken souls. I was sick of it. That's why we are having this conversation, to show that there's work to be done and we can do it together. And every speaker that comes, we're kind of sending you to the right place. We're directing you where to go. Go to Gal Hub, go to Ambassador Uyime, go to Coach Tony is here, go to Coach Uche. If your own issues has got to do with your emotions, please go there. Follow our Senator Hezena. She's there to help you out. And of course, Ellen, we had a speaker, Ellen, but she had to go back to work. But of course, we're going to get her content and put it on our social media. So please.
Can I say something, Doctor?
Yes.
So one of the things we tell parents, so when you tell parents to come for training, they say, oh, it's too expensive. So I ask them, which one is more expensive, going for a training or paying for therapy session when the child's life is, well, when the child is battling with mental health? So they need to pick the, which one of them do they want? Paying for training so that they can train and raise their children well, or paying for therapy sessions later when things have gone bad.
Yes.
Parents need to know the difference between these two and pick which
Mm.
one is better for them.
Wow, I love it. And of course, the therapy section is worse. It is a lot more
It's
money.
more
I do know
expensive.
that it's a lot more expensive. You pay for every 30 minutes for, Coach Tony to talk to you, you have to pay. So, well, thank you so much, Coach Tony. It was so, so, so great having you
Thank you
in
for
the
having
room,
me, ma'am.
having you in the house. Thank you for bringing on your brilliance, and thank you for the work that you do. It's just amazing. It's beautiful to see. Please put in your social media handles on the comment box, because we need to be able to reach out and connect with you. And Dr. Julia is actually here, the relationship coach. I don't know why she wasn't in the room, because, there's something we need to talk to the girls about this whole relationship. I have a crush, my boyfriend broke my heart, and this and that, crying up and down. Dr. Julia, you have to be part of the conversation next time, because we need to know what to do with these girls. So many people are falling in and out of love and behind love. I don't know what's going on. And the whole place is just broken. So please connect with Coach Toyi, yes, on her social media handles. Thank you so much, my sister. We are going to be bringing on stage, of course, the online visibility expert is coming on stage, and she is none other than the powerful voice from LinkedIn. So let's kind of just do a little bit of a wrap up. Thank you so much, my sister. If you're just joining us for the first time, the conversation has been amazing. It's the International Civility for the Girl Child Day. And of course, this day was created a couple of years ago in 2020 to empower the girl child to find her voice and lead using her girl power. If you've been part of this conversation, you would have heard from powerful women leaders who are doing it, who are walking their talk on a daily basis, have built platforms for the girl child, mentorship programs. So, do you have a girl at home and you've been struggling on how to speak with her? Sometimes parents say to me, you know what, by the time I say one thing, she's responding with three things. Now, you don't have to struggle with that. There are people that can help you out. There is Coach Toyi that would be able to, work with you or train you. There is, Girl Hub, where you can get your daughter in, and she's going to have amazing people to work with. Ambassador Kings is happy to work with her as well. Yes. So please do not just leave her at home. Do not keep struggling by yourself. Do not keep making her make the wrong decisions. Because think about it, everything that we've always done, we've had to go to school for it, apart from parenting, right? You want to become a coach, you go to school. You want to go to the university, you go to school. You want to train on a skill, you go to school. But you want to become a parent, you said, no, my great grandmother gave me a blueprint to use. That's not going to work, sis. That's not going to work. So please, please, and please, my sister Adrian, it's so good to have you here. Thank you so much for your time and your love. Thank you so much. So I'm just going to bring to the stage Halmar. And oh my God, my sister, I love you so much. And you and I know what a sacrifice that you've made just to be here today. And I really, really appreciate you. Hammer is a strong voice on LinkedIn. If you haven't followed her yet, I don't know where you've been. But Hammer Wago is a LinkedIn top voice. And she's not a social media manager. No, no, no. She's a LinkedIn top voice that is certified, and this is what she does. So if you're struggling with visibility, if you're struggling with positioning, if you're struggling with getting your voice heard for the right reasons, Homer is who you should be speaking with. And of course, let me just mention that Homer is going to be training in our community for the next 30 days. So if you want to be part of this, you want to take your positioning and visibility to the next level, because you don't want to go into 2024 looking like what you did in 2023. Homer is the voice. She's coming in to bless us in the community, is starting up powerfully. We're excited and looking forward to it. So you can just comment in the comment box if you want to be part of this with other women leaders who would be working with Homer to create their brand online, to get their message out there, to build, not just their following, but their presence. Get to have the right people following you. Some of us here, you have 3,000 followers and 2,999 is from your high school. Hello? That's not the kind of following we're talking about. We're talking about people who want to hear your message. We're talking about people who are ready to work with you, people who are ready to patronize you, people who need your content, powerful women leaders that you can collaborate with and expand your brand. That's what we're talking about. So the online visibility program is coming up from the 15th. So if you want to be part of this, you have to get in the comment box and we will be so happy to get you on. My sister Homer, are you ready for us, please?
Hi, Dr. Louisa. Yes, I am. I am. Well done. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. Are we going to be able to see you?
Unfortunately, not. I told you in
Oh,
the chat I can't turn on my video because of the situation I am in.
yeah,
But
I
I'm
understand.
happy that at least they saw my face at the beginning. So
Sorry about that.
that's
Sorry.
no problem.
Is there a
No
noise from
problem.
me again? Sorry about that. Okay.
No
All
problem.
right. So I'm just going to shift off for you, and thank you so much for the sacrifice, because I know, you had to deal with something with some people. So everyone has spoken today and talked about social media, social media, social media. Why it's so important that the girl child shows up responsibly on social media. And something that I find is a lot of times people think that social media is their personal diaries. Maybe not on LinkedIn. I haven't seen too much of the drama queens on LinkedIn. But on Instagram, on Facebook, someone is unhappy about something, they come out to lash out on
Yeah.
social media. Someone is going through something, they think it's time for them to become unruly on social media. Now, how can social media, how can you encourage the girl child? What's the best way for her to position herself? Because, we listen to Senator Hezener, and so it's not too early for us to begin to position ourselves for the right reasons. It's not too early. She started at a
Yeah.
very young age, and went on as a beauty pageant and just kept going till where she is today. How can social media help us with that? Over to you, Hama.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Louisa. I have been learning a lot. Thank you, everybody that has been watching. I can't turn on my video, but I'm happy that I was able to establish that relationship at first when we started and you were able to see my face. So my name is Homa Wogo and I'm one of LinkedIn's top voices. And this conversation is a very interesting one for me because actually a lot of people that have come to speak today spoke from the point of probably being parents or being in a higher generation, but I want to speak from the place of being a full-time daughter. So I have no kids. I'm still very young. I'm still a girl child, in quotes, a full-time girl child. And I understand everything that girls go through, especially young black girls, right? The whole, like Dr. Louisa was talking about, the whole shame you go through. In fact, the way you speak sometimes it makes you shy. I remember when I had a particular interview with an international organization, I won't call the name, and they actually came to my house to interview me. And I thought I was already a great public speaker. Until the guy told me, "Oh, sorry, I can't hear you." And I'm like, "So you actually can't hear me?" He said, "Oh, I can't hear how you speak in a weird way. I can't hear you." And at that point, I wanted to feel a deep sense of shame and like, oh my goodness, they can't hear me. I don't speak well, or probably I don't look well. right? But then I already had a strong sense of identity. And that is something that is lacking in a lot of young girls. And that's why anytime something happens to you, the first place you're running to is social media. So you don't have that sense of identity that you are loved, whether it's by God or your parents or people around you. And so my opinion is that people around girl children should show them love, because love can do a lot. We are talking about policy, we are talking about strategies, we're talking about a lot of things, but we underestimate little things that can actually change the big things. And it's as little as showing these people love. Some of them actually don't feel beautiful, and that's what makes them actually want to kill themselves when a guy says something about them or when they don't get a particular opportunity, because that sense of being feeling loved is lacking. So, as parents, as friends, the senator talked about how her friends helped her out. As friends, you should show love to your girlfriends, in quotes, right? Let them have that sense of identity. I call myself a queen, right? People call me LinkedIn queen. And I don't say that just because I want to feel like a queen or I like the sound of people calling me a queen. No, because it's an identity. Dr. Lisa was talking about some girls that actually go to sleep with men because of sanitary towels. And that is one of the major reasons they are doing that, is because they don't have a sense of identity, right? There are people that go to volunteer for people, right, or do stuff for them in exchange of other things, but not actually sleep with them. Why? Because they have a sense of identity. So this is me letting you know that as a girl child, whatever you are, as a woman, please, that foundation of knowing who you are and even whose you are. Because honestly, for the Christians listening to me, you are actually the daughter of the most high God. When you understand this thing, there are certain things that can't get to you anymore. There are certain things you cannot do. There are certain ways you cannot feel because of that sense of identity that you have. So even as we wrap up today, even as everybody has said everything that we have said, very important things, I want you to leave this call with the sense and with the understanding that you are a queen, right? And not a queen in the sense of being a slave queen, like a lot of people talk about, but a queen in all her glory and majesty and wisdom. That would now determine how you show up online. That will determine the kind of opportunities that come to you. That determines the people that will follow you. Dr. Lisa was talking about having 3,000 followers and about 2,900 of them are from your secondary school, right? When kings in your sector see you, are you the kind of person they want to follow? So being a queen comes from within. You need to understand that persona, the brand of a queen. There's a brand of a queen, whether you're a girl or a woman. When you understand how she speaks, you understand how she shows up, you won't come online and act unruly because something happened to you. First of all, when bad things happen, you remember your identity and you know that those things are externals. Who you are is within, right? So external things can't really get to you that much because you have a strong identity. So my point today is just centered around identity, love people, because a lot of things that happen to girls these days, most of the times is because they don't feel loved, or they didn't have the strong foundation of love. Either it's from their parents, their dad, and so they allow men to treat them anyhow because their dads never loved them. So when a boy does something as little as buy her a phone, her head is already everywhere. She's already feeling like, oh my goodness, this is the best thing a man can ever do to me, because she has not felt love. I heard someone talking about one day that, oh, she went to a guy's house and he bought her medicine and she was feeling so loved. Oh my goodness, he's so nice. And I was like, is he wicked? Only a wicked person will not buy you medicine when you're sick. But here she is taking it as a big deal. In fact, she wants to be with this guy just because he bought her medicine. That's what a normal human being should do. But here is this girl child wanting to even be in a relationship with this person just because he bought her medicine. So it's just as little as loving people. And as we continue to love people and as we continue to understand our identity, I believe that tools like social media will now be used to improve that identity, that queenship, the business you have, the career you have. You won't see it as a place to rant, you won't see it as a place to insult people, but then you now use it as a tool to amplify your voice as a queen in whatever sector that you are, right? Whether it's in tech, in marketing, in business, whatever it is, social media now becomes a tool. So if the foundation, which is the identity, is not right, then all the tools that come in your journey of growing up, etc., would be used wrongly. And that's one of the reasons why people use social media and every other tools available to them, tech, wrongly. So I hope that you have actually learned something today, and I want to encourage you to love yourself first, because sometimes you might not even be in the position. Some of you probably don't have parents, or you don't have people that can love you. First of all, love yourself and understand that you are loved by your creator, right? Then you can now get that strong sense of identity that you're a queen and start living it out. The same energy is going to come back to you. Over to you, Dr. Luisa. Thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. That was powerful, Homer. I love it. The identity really sunk in. There's a comment here. Love them, teach them, guide them, let them know their worth and their light beam with bright colors. The rainbow of the girl child. Oh my goodness, Homer. You couldn't have said it any better. The identity, that's where the problem is coming from. I find that the major thing that affects the girl child is identity negotiation. She doesn't know who she is. She begins to embrace what she's not. And that comes from your inability to know who you are and whose you are. Because the minute you don't know who you are and whose you are, you begin to accept what the world says that you are, or what your auntie said that you are, or what the person who raped you said you are, or what the person who abused you said you are, or what the society said you are, just because you do not know who you are. I mean, Homer has given us a great example of being a queen. But how about you show up as a queen though? I don't know about it just being a title, but you show up as a queen, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a whole, it's kind of like a 360 approach, because the minute you call yourself a queen, it's more like an affirmation, right?
Yeah.
You know that you have to live up to standards. You know that you cannot show up as a rat when you said you're a queen. Period. There's just no way. So even when you're online, you're showing up as a queen. Even when you're giving out contents, you're doing it as a queen. Even when
Yeah.
you're dressing up, is as a queen. So identity is really a holistic approach.
Yeah.
It's not just about your appearance. Appearance is great, and that's where we're having trouble, because a lot of girls just say, I want to be like so and so, but what about the greatness that lies inside of you that is decaying
Yeah.
because you refuse to show up as your authentic self? Wow, this is so powerful. I just kind of experienced a light bulb moment there with the approach that you came with, your identity, who you are, and really showing love. And I love that you shared that, because I find that a lot of these slay queens are actually unhappy. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I'm not trying to be harsh, ladies, if we have some of the slay queens here, but it has something that they're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
They have something they're dealing with, and they try to cover that up. They try to put a cast on it, put a band-aid on it, because they don't want to deal with that, and they try to show up in a different way. I remember a certain influencer who used to show up with no clothes, and people would curse this person and abuse her. And I remember that I said she was dealing with something. I said, what do you mean? No, anybody, I mean, no, you can say, no, no, no. If she's dealing with something, she's not going to be showing up with no clothes. I said, trust me, she's dealing with something. And 2 years down the line of me following the same lady, she showed up to tell us what she was dealing with. So many
Wow.
times she's attempted suicide. So many times she had been abused. She had a dysfunctional upbringing. So showing up naked was just, she felt that could be therapy, but it really is not. And so the girl child gets online, not knowing who she is, and begins to follow that influencer who is actually burning on the inside. So the world continues to recycle brokenness and toxic people. And that's why we're having this conversation. Welcome, Dr. Chibuzo from the UK. She said, if the foundation of identity is not in place, the girl child will grow without purpose and vision. These people are too smart. Oh, Remember, without identity of greatness and authentic, abuse is inevitable. I love it. I love it. I love it. Honestly, Hummer, that was such a powerful message that you gave about identity and just even using yourself, your own personal story. I think that was just great. But ladies, if you think you want to make the change, I don't know why you wouldn't want to make the change after listening to this. But it is time for you to say yes to your greater self. It is time for you to get involved in our environment, in our community. It is time for you to follow up these speakers. But most importantly, it's time for you to get in the classroom and be with Homer. I'm very excited to be with Homer in a couple of days' time. Please get in the classroom. If you're interested in this program, please say yes in the comment box. Jump in and say yes. Jump in and say yes, because Hammer is going to be taking us from where you are today to where you want to be on social media with presence and with position, so that when you deliver the message of your purpose is well received. Because if you deliver the message of your purpose, maybe to people that you went to primary school with, that's great. But there's so many other people. How many billion people in the world? And you're only targeting people who you went to school with? No, that's really poor. We have to be able to do better. So thank you so much, Hammer. I'm so grateful that you're able to make it here, even with what's going on. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank
Marietta
you,
says yes,
Lisa.
yes, yes, yes. And looking forward to see you in a couple of days. Thank you so much, my sister.
You're welcome. Well done.
Thank you. Okay, yes. Dr. Chibuza says, I'm her student. Powerful. There you go. You know what she does. Yes, Judith says yes, yes. Judith Mulander, thank you so much. Please let us know. We're going to be able to send you a message and get you in the class to be working with Hammer for the next 30 days. We're going to be doing amazing. Listen, by January 1st, you will look back and ask yourself, like, who was that again? Who was that again in 2023? No, that can't be me. Because you will not be able to recognize yourself when you're done with Hammer. It said, Hammer is the best LinkedIn transformation coach. That's it. That's it. She's amazing. She's amazing at what she does. Please check her out. It's Hammer Wagu. Go on her page and connect with her. Send her some love, and please leave some love here in the comment. And when you get in her inbox, please send her some love. Do not go there and say hi. She's not going to answer. Please say something that she wants to hear. Her handle, please. Yes, we're having the session, or if you're looking for the session, sis, we're going to be having the session. We'll send you the session. But she's on LinkedIn. Follow her on LinkedIn. It's Hammer Wago. Hammer, can you post your LinkedIn, your link on LinkedIn? People want to follow you right now. Please post it. It was such a powerful time with every one of you. Oh, Dr. Julia, thank you so much. It was so good, great content. I want to go back and listen to this over and over again. Listen, if it is the first time that you've ever met me, I don't know where you've been. But when I say we're going to run a show, we're going to have an event, listen, make sure that you take off that day to be with us, because there's always powerful leaders, great contents, and we know what to do, because I bring in the heat, the best of the best. Yes, Homa Wagu, that's her name, everywhere, and that's something, because a lot of people love to change their names, and your name is Hammer, but on social media you're Sexy B. We're not doing Sexy B, okay? If you do Sexy B, we're not following you. So please, if Sexy B follows me, I don't accept too. I just don't, because I don't have the kind of content for Sexy B. So please, before you follow me or try to add me on, please make sure that you use your correct name. and I will be happy to accept you. Thank you so much, my sister, Coach Etima. It was so good to be with you. God bless you so much. So we have come to the end of this year's International Civility for the Girl Child. Do us a favor. Please follow us on social media. That's all we need from you. You got so much great content you would have had to pay. I mean, these people don't talk for free, but they are all here because of the great relationship and passion that we're all connected together. You know, these are my father's children. They're just like, these are my sisters from all over the world. Thank you so much for dining with us. Thank you so much, Ambassador Kings. Thank you. Thank you. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much, Coach Tony. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much, Her Excellency Hezena. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much, Coach Etima. God bless you. Thank you so much, Hammer, Queen Hammer. Thank you. Thank you so much, Coach Uche. Thank you. Thank you so much, Coach Ellen Obi. Thank you. Every one of us who has shared and those that were not able to share, either because of connections and all of that. It was so great to have every one of you powerful content. And I pray that, you know, all that you do, that you have people to support your work, just like you have been here with me, just to dine with me for this couple of hours. It's been amazing. I'm going to have to go back and watch this video over and over and over again because there's so much great content. We're going to pull out quotes that we're just dropping, you know, left, right, center. We have to get it out so people can enjoy the content that is. Thank you, every one of these powerful leaders, Coach Kemi, Dr. Julia, so many people. I tell you, I might have missed your name. Judith, where are you joining us from? I kind of feel like I know this name, Judith Mulander, but thank you for making out the time to be here. God bless you, Taiwo Oladele. Thank you so much, Maria too. Sese, I know that is from Sierra Leone. Thank you so much. Her Excellency, Dr. Khadijatu. Thank you so much for stopping by. It was so awesome to have every one of us be here in this session. My sister Chinelo, thank you. I love you. Thank you, B. Christopher. Thank you so much. I think is that the woman leader B? I think so, from Egypt, maybe. But thank you, sis. I appreciate you for making out the time. Dr. Chibuzo, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Lebo from Botswana, thank you so much. Thank you, Fiki Lee. Thank you, Tamara. Thank you. You know, Flor, thank you. Sololo from Botswana, to Lisili, I see you from Eswatini. All of my Eswatini sisters, Nikki from Eswatini, all of our ambassadors that were here. I'm so grateful that you made out the time to be here. My sister Adrian, thank you. Fumilayo, thank you. There are just so many people. Ambassador Sams, thank you. Blessing, thank you so much. From ECOWAS, God bless you for making out time to be here. I appreciate you. It says it takes a village to bring up a child. The girl-child conversation is a serious business, and this is why we had to bring people from everywhere to be here and kind of share their perspective. Thank you, Tamara. God bless you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so we've come to the end. I hate to let you go, but I have to. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in our community. We have so much in stock for you. So do not stay out of touch. Make sure that you grab all of the links that we've shared and follow me on social media. On LinkedIn, it's Louisa Akaiso. I'm the same everywhere. On Facebook, in our community, Women Who Win Africa, who organized this session for us. Please try to be part of what we're doing in Women Who Win Africa. If you've never seen it, it is a platform that empowers the African woman to build her leadership capacity. We are doing amazing stuff all over the world. I tell you, I'm just so thankful to God. Thankful to God for all that He's doing. Maria, too, God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate all your kind words. So please connect with us on social media. You do not want to miss the next programs and sessions that's coming up. Yes. So please do take good care of yourself, and I'll see you again. Stop by and say hi. Judith says she's from Zambia. Wow. Thank you, my sister. Please send me a message. It's great to connect. Zambia is one of the countries that I'm extremely popular in. So I love to see my Zambia sisters. Please stop by and say hello. Yes. So please take good care of yourself, and God bless you. Bye for now.